right, we got us a freaking doozy this week on the Dirt Subies podcast. My friend Eric, he is an OG Lifted Imports featured build person, and I'm super happy to have him on the podcast. I'm obviously sick, as you can tell, so editing took a little bit longer than normal. We'll see how this one turns out. As usual, you guys definitely want to be checking out the Subi and You podcast. There's a bunch of good episodes over there that you can check out, but let's jump into this episode. It's good to meet new people, but I also really enjoy talking to, dudes or ladies or whoever that I already know. It's like a little reunion, so I'm super stoked to have you on. Yeah, you're an OG. Like, you're literally one of the OGs, bro, of Lifted Imports and Dirt Subies. So can you introduce yourself to people, let them know who you are and where they can find you?
My name is Eric Krieger. I have a 2017 Forester XT Touring, and I go by Bearded Pixel, all one word, on Instagram. I believe
Heck
it's all
yeah.
one word, for sure.
I hope so. We're actually, let me double check.
I can check that now. I just never look at my own name. Oh, it's a
Same.
bearded underscore pixel. Sorry.
Oh, good. I'm glad we caught it. Probably send somebody to like an OnlyFans page or something, like some beard porn or something.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, I think that was like the one social media platform where somebody already had that name.
Okay, so you bought the Forester in 2021, you said, right?
Yeah, I believe it was August of 2021. And it was funny at that time. It was actually probably a couple of days to a week away from getting a 2020 white Sport. I had that in my sights, and then I was looking at Car Guru and just kind of perusing, and I saw the turbo, the XT, and I was like, it's the color I want, it's the blue. And then, I do wish it was a little bit more of the WRX blue. I will admit that,
It still looks
it's a little bit
good.
of the brighter, but then it's like, I saw this thing at the right price point, and it only had 25,000 miles on it. It was one owner from, I think, Jersey,
Oh,
but
what?
I don't know if they bought it in Jersey and had it brought here
Okay.
because no rust whatsoever. Like, it was never driven
Maybe like a
in the
snowbird car?
snow. It could have been, and I was just like, going between them, and my wife was like, "Which one do you want?" I'm like, "Well, I'd rather have the turbo." So I'm like, I jumped on it, and I went down to get it, and it was funny because one dude in your state, in Washington, wanted it shipped to him. He wanted to buy it and ship it, and then there was another couple from Prescott, a couple hour, or like an hour away from here,
Yeah. No, I
that
know
were
exactly where
driving
that's at.
down when I went and bought it. Like, when I was signing my paperwork, they were sitting in it, and I was like, "Hey, dude, what's going on?" They're like, they just wanted to check it out. I'm like, "So it's still mine?" They're like, "Yeah, you're good, dude. It's not theirs." I'm like,
Tell them to
"Okay,
go home.
right, right." But it's one of those things that I've always wanted, the turbo, like the WRX or whatever. And then I was like, "Oh, I want somewhere capable," so I got that. And then lo and behold, find out, everything I've done to it, I could have done it to a WRX too. So
But more room, and you don't get pulled over as often.
that's true. Knock on wood, I've never had a ticket. I've had
Nice.
I've had a lot of warnings. A lot of warnings.
Even with Deputy, what's that guy's name?
Oh, that
Deputy
French
Frank?
slope dude. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
well,
Frank.
that's down in Tucson. I don't go down there much, but
Okay.
you know, but yeah, I mean, the only thing I'm finding out though is the turbo in Arizona heat is not
A
a
lot of
good
heat
thing.
soak.
Yeah, I've actually thought about getting an A Subaru just to have something to drive in the summertime because
So
it gets hot, man.
yeah, oh dude. When I met up with you and Ryan back when would that have been? June or something?
When was that? That was, yeah, I think it was like June or July when you were here. I think June, end of June, somewhere in there, maybe.
Yeah, probably. Um
I'd have to look at the Instagram for a post.
yeah. Dude, it was 116 degrees one of those days when I was
Yeah,
there. And I
yeah.
was like, what the fudge? Like I'm used to 100, but there's something about crossing that 110 mark that just changes everything.
I
You know,
don't like. I don't notice it too much with the turbo. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say that. There's a distinct difference. Like the temperatures out now. Like when, it kind of sucks where we're at now. This, I guess, winter, if you want to call it that. is 30, 40 degrees in the morning, and then by noon it's 70.
Yeah.
But like it's still not super hot, so there thing drives great right now. Summertime there is that heat soak, but the only time I really see it is I try not to is like if I'm on like the 101 or something like that, because then if you're holding 80 miles an hour driving there, it's like it's weird because the temperature doesn't get too hot. I monitor that, but like the oil temp, like that climbs pretty good.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, it
Does
gets kind of scary sometimes. Like I'll be driving with the wife, going like I'm like a couple more degrees, I'm pulling off. Like it gets up there.
have you have you ever explored any external cooling improvements like front mount
I have
intercooler?
I have uh, the tranny cooler, and then which I left the stock one in, so it goes to the stock cooler into the
Okay.
external cooler, and then so kind of that double cooling. I looked at like an oil cooler, but the problem with those is how it's got the top mount filter. It's
Mhm.
kind of like its own little cooler, and then you have
Yeah.
to like everything I looked at said you had to cut that, like cut the metal to get the cooler to fit. I'm like, I'm not about messing anything up like that
Yeah.
in the engine to where I'd have to replace things. Because
Can you
really, pretty much everything I've done to it, I can revert back to stock.
Yeah. Can you kinda set the stage or give us an idea of kinda what the market looked like back when you bought that thing? Because at least out here in 2021,
Mhm.
the market was crazy. People were just dealers were paying over Blue Book to get used cars. People were paying over Blue Book to buy them.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It was
yeah. I don't think
crazy.
the market out here, the used car market, I think when everything went ape shit with that, I think it was more 2022 to 2023. I think was the like kind of the peak. If I'm not mistaken, I roughly paid basically like $1,000 a mile. I think it was like 25 grand or something like
Oh,
that.
that's not bad, dude.
And then I think it was like right away I noticed like just same year like with like 100 something thousand miles we're going for like the same
Yeah.
price. I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
what? So I looked up, I booked mine, and it was something like if I private party was like almost $40,000. I'm like, the hell, and
Right?
it's like I did have that thought. I'm like, I
Should
could
I
get rid
sell
of
it?
it, but then it's like
But then I
at
gotta
that
replace
point
it.
I had a lot of stuff done to it, so
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just in the same market, but I'm paying a higher price for the car, and then if I'm doing that, it's like, do I want to go a different route? And I
Yeah.
did look at like trucks, but I'm like, that's just ridiculous. Those are just still ridiculous, man.
Oh, trucks were the worst, at least out here. It was absolutely
Oh,
crazy.
they're still
Yeah.
stupid. Like a ZR2 Chevy, was it the Colorado Path road
Yeah.
package is still like 80, $90,000. And I'm like, I can buy a Stingray Corvette for cheaper than
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, to me, those Colorados, they do have some pretty cool packages, like some of them with the little Cummins motors, but it's like,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
this is like a $40,000 car on a good day, like at least in my brain. I'm like, you know, this isn't even a full-size truck. What are we doing spending almost
All
six
right,
figures
right.
on it, dude? It's crazy.
And they're
But
not, I don't think they're as cool as like back in the day. My brother had a 96 S1002 pickup. And, I
let's
remember
go.
those things, were great. They were fun trucks. And I'm like, I don't think they hold the same.
Yeah. Yeah, not even remotely. Now, this is not your first Subaru, right? You've owned
Yes,
other
it
ones?
is. No,
Is it
this
really?
is. Yep.
For some reason, I had it in my head that you had owned a WRX, but
No, no, no. I mean, now with what came out at the Japanese auto show over there,
yeah,
like,
the STI.
dude, I'm like, I'm like, I don't want payments anymore, but I'm probably going to end up having if they come out. You know what I mean? I need a
Yeah,
summer car. I don't
yeah,
learn anything. It'll still be a turbo, right?
right. Yeah,
But it'll be a manual, so that'll be better.
yeah. Well, what, out in Arizona, I mean, unless you live in like Prescott or
Mhm. Like flag up that way.
Flagstaff, yeah, you don't get really snow, and it to me it's crazy that there's still such a big Subaru community where you guys are at. But what sort of drew you to the car, or even to the brand as a whole?
What's funny is I know you're going to ask that.
Yes.
I don't know. Like I've always liked the WRX. I mean, my favorite is the was the STI hatchback. Like,
Yeah,
I would love to get one, but the problem with it is most of them are
just been
three or more
flogged.
owner deep.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, I'm gonna buy it, drive it down the block, it's gonna blow up.
yeah, ringland failure
Trying to find
immediately.
one that hasn't been touched, like that stock is literally like the golden egg out there.
Yeah,
Um, but I've always liked Subarus. I mean, they've always had reliability. I've had a couple friends that have had WRXs and stuff, and getting to drive them. When I lived back in Illinois, like it was just fun as hell, especially in the wintertime in the snow. And then out here, I just wanted something, which was kind of funny when I got it. When I was looking for it, I wasn't, I didn't know about the off road side of things. I was actually a couple guys I follow on Instagram. I was gonna go the street version. I was gonna slam it,
yeah,
And then it's like I was like, oh, I can get like this tunes, different turbo, like all this other stuff. And then I started. The more I read about it, the more I was like, yeah, I don't want to touch that. That's when things start to go boomy. So
yes, yeah,
does it
yeah,
does it it's not even like the old Hes gasket thing. No matter what motor it is, I didn't want any issues. And then
yeah,
I started seeing posting online or whatever, the hashtag, started seeing more of the off-road stuff, and I was like, oh hell yeah. So I was like, yeah, I'll go that route. And that's all of a sudden, I found Mountain Roo, and then Mountain Roo, Arizona, and they had a meetup. And I remember my first time out was, funny enough, still on my stock tires, I think. Yeah, I was on stock tires because somebody was saying like skid plates are the first thing. So I was like, okay. A buddy of in the group they sold their 2018 Forester.
okay,
So I was like, well, I'll take the skid plates. I got the full primitive set for like $300,
nice.
and slapped it on. And then we went out with the group, and we were going through a wash. And I remember it was like first time out. My wife was with me, and we had our dog when we only had one at the time. And then I'm driving, and she does that thing where she sees something before I do, but she's like, oh, and it's like when you see you say that, it's too late. Like I'm already hitting it, and I felt the rock in the wash because you're lower on the sides and higher in the middle, and that
Yeah,
rock went straight down the middle or the front skid plate, missed the tranny one, actually went down my muffler, like down it all the way to the back, and I was just like, dude, I'm like, if I didn't have that,
yeah,
dude, my oil pan gone.
you'd
Like
be
I would have
stuck
got this new car, brought it out, and then totaled it basically out there.
all in one day.
Yeah. So the skid plates, saved me pretty good. And then I think the what were they? The Falcons on the stock rims were the Falcon Wild Peak.
Hmm.
AT Trails were the tires I went with because it was kind of like everybody was running those.
Yeah,
Not really a fan of them. Uh, they're decent off road on road. Don't get me wrong, but like sidewall, non-existent.
yeah,
I went off when I had those. I went off with the group, and we did a more. It was a smaller group, and we did more technical stuff through like rocks and everything. Dude, I mean, it was like a razor blade to my tires. Like all the sidewalls, like you could like I went and got rubber cement in there because I could see all the steel belting. I'm like, holy crap,
yeah,
man!
yeah,
And then now I have the Sparco wheels with the Geolandar MTs.
yeah,
And when we went out, when you were here, I got one slice in there
yeah. I remember.
from what John hit. Remember, I didn't get the bed. I didn't get the John. I didn't tear the whole sidewall open. But well, what's interesting if you think about it, we both hit it right. I have a mark on the rim like him, and then here's a slice in the tire because my tires they sit a lot more flush with the rim,
Okay, okay.
and it does have a slice. I can't see the belting or anything like that. It's a pretty thick sidewall, and
Hmm.
then John has the AT
Four
fours,
W's.
I think, four
Yeah,
Ws, and he's got that bubble, and I think that's where it caught it.
yeah, yeah. That was
We tried
crazy.
to patch it.
We tried. It was so cold up there. I was like, man, how did we go from like
Mm-hmm.
you know
It's
75,
drastic,
80
dude.
degrees? Yeah.
Yeah, like the other day, it's 70 down here. It's 9 degrees up there.
Right? Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Um, can I ask you about those about your wheel and tire setup?
Yeah.
Is there a specific reason that you went with Sparcos other than they look super good? And then the Geolanders, I'd love to hear kind
it's
of your
it's
thought
it's
process
funny,
on
man.
that.
So I had those sparkles in mind for a long time because I mean, with my car being the blue, and then I had the red. I had the red lights in the front that I've since changed. I'm going back and forth if I want to get rid of the red slashes on there and get like a white or something. It was kind of a theme, and then but then I was like, the Sparkos. I'm like, I love the gray, and then they have the blue lettering. I'm like, that goes with the car.
It's
That's
perfect.
perfect. And then I was thinking like, okay, I could take all the red and make it gray. So it's got. I like the theme. I really would love to do like a half wrap on the back or something like pixelated or something like that.
Oh, that'd be
But then I
sick,
get into wraps, dude, and they're stupid, stupid, stupid
right?
money. But like, and then the tires, like I saw them. What was his name? Sly. I can't remember his name now. He had the cross track in Colorado.
Okay,
And he just got like Netsy's shop, and I got the Keep Rumbling sticker on my car from him.
sick.
But
Okay.
it was him and Turbo Joe.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because they both had the same builds. Like they had like the full force, I think, bumpers on each one of them. It was kind of like
Okay.
a different version of each other. But I saw the wheel and tire setup, and I was just like, oh my god, that's beautiful. And then it's one of the only MT tires you can get in a size that would fit.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to go down to the 15, 17s as far as I can go right now because of the oversized front brakes.
Yeah.
I did think about just because everybody, like, what's interesting is everybody goes to the WRXs and gets the 4-pot calipers. They do the
Mm-hmm.
lowest switch, but I'm like, I was talking to my mechanic, Matt, and I was just like, why can't I just take it off of a base model Forester? And he's like, well, you could. My whole thing is I don't know if it's the reservoir or something. Is it gonna, because is it gonna push more
Mm.
fluid? Like, how is that gonna work?
Yeah. I
And
don't know
it's
anything
like
about that.
doing all that stuff. I'm just kind of like, 17s are fine. I mean, yeah, I could get more meat, but 17s look good. I still have, those tires have a decent amount of sidewall to them. As for the Geolanders, I love them.
Mm-hmm.
The only downside I've noticed, I think, is like rain wet, like when it's wet out, is when you turn. I have looked this up, and a lot of people say the same thing: is they don't do well. They
Yeah.
tend to when you go to turn, they tend to kind of go through the turn. You know what I
They just
mean?
understeer.
Yeah, like pretty
Yeah.
bad. But like off road, everything else, like fantastic. You know,
Yeah.
road noise to me is not bad. I mean, yeah, they're noticeable because of the way they are, but
Yeah. It's a mud terrain.
yeah, I mean, yeah, but like no, nothing really noticeable. I have thought about like when the time comes to replace them, if I'm gonna go with them again or not, and I think that fully depends on the price of tires at that point. Because like when I got those, um, the Wild Peaks,
Mm-hmm.
I have 5 of those. Like I did the full size. I ended up getting my original stock rim from eBay, just so I had the
Nice.
same rim and everything, which is on the
Yeah.
roof of my car because I'm like, I've never used it. So I'm like, it'll get me out in a pinch. When I went to look at, I got my, the 4, did the rim and tire combo off of Tire Rack, which I didn't know were bought out by discount.
Discount. Yeah.
So when I had the TPS and everything installed, like they did it all for free. Like I just drove over like a couple blocks away and was like, "Do it." You
I
know what I
love
mean?
Tire Rack. Tire Rack is
And
my jam,
they
dude.
they came mounted, bounced, everything
Yeah.
perfect. I think it was like a few months later. I'm like, I should just get another rim and tire just so I have it. But then it's like, dude, the rim was like out of stock, and then the tire went up like another like $50 freaking dollars. I was like, what
Right?
crap? Like when I bought my
Oh,
Wild Peaks, I paid 115 a tire, and then
now they're
like
like
when everybody
160.
else was getting them, no, they were like they were almost like $200.
Oh, that's right. You're in 17-inch territory. That's different.
No,
Yeah.
it was when I had my 18s.
Oh, it's even worse.
Yeah, because the original stock ones are 18s.
Yeah. Tires, I feel like
So,
everything's gone up at least 25% in the last 5 years.
oh
Hands
yeah.
down, just across the board. It's
I
like,
mean, it's nice seeing a lot more coming out. Um, I did look at you were shouting out like the mouse stars. I looked at those. I think was it the Patagonias?
mm-hmm.
I think the was it the eight ATs or was it
AT
the
Pro.
NTs? Oh, ET Pro.
Yeah.
I think they have the 17 in my size.
Okay.
Because they have a 225 and a 235.
Nice.
Mine are 235, 55, or 235, 65. Yeah, everybody else still nothing. It kind of gets me on this tangent of the aftermarket of the Subaru, groups. It's like you look at like the older models, like I think the one you have and stuff, like they have a bunch of stuff for it. You can find a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
then you have like the was it the 2019? So the SK Foresters and up, you can find stuff all day long. Same with the
Yeah.
cross tracks. You
Yeah.
have all these bumpers
Yeah.
and stuff, but the SH and the SJ, no,
Nothing.
you got jack
Yeah.
shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like me, I had to drive all the way to Tennessee, to get my rock slider
Oh,
from
that's right.
Force Metalworks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was happy like to be one of the first. I think the first one in 2022 when I got them,
Mm-hmm.
because mine are the prototypes. I think there was the Gold Forester that has the front bumper and back bumper
Oh yeah.
for him.
Yeah.
Wandering Foz, I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
But
I've
yeah,
got
he got him. It's like
Sam.
he asked me, I put him in. He's like, oh, when did you get him? I said 2022, and he's like, okay. He's like, they're right before he did.
Okay, so you got the OGs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they were bare metal. When I was there,
Yeah.
Rhino lined them right there, and then
Sick.
slapped them on and drove them all the way back home.
That's what's up, dude.
And then when I got back, he's like, yo, I could do a front bumper, like the hybrid one, the really nice one. He goes, for cheap, because with the XTs, the rock sliders on the driver's side, the bracketry is different underneath.
Okay.
Like there's different bends to it.
Okay.
Don't know why. But he said the bumpers are the same way. They're not the same as the base model because of the turbo. There's like some kind of sensor or something there.
Okay, that makes sense.
But he's just like, oh, if you want to come back out, I'm like, nah.
Do you
Because
know if it has...
after driving out there and like the hotels, my old man
Yeah.
went with me, but after doing that, everything with gas, I'm like, dude, it costs about the same as getting it shipped out.
Does it have something to do with the active shutter?
See,
on
that's
the
the thing
grill?
is he said there's the active shutter. He said, yeah, it's that. But when I took my bumper off to put the SSD light bar on there, I don't remember seeing one because 2018 had a turbo, right? They had the XT in 2018, so
That was the
maybe
last
that one?
year. Yeah.
Or maybe the SH models had that.
Okay. I remember because I was working for Subaru when 18s were the current showroom models, and I remember them talking about the active shutter thing to help them warm up. So I wondered,
Because I've looked, I've seen like there's ducting that goes down, and it kind of like curves towards the turbo, but I don't see anything in there.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I'm not
I
sure.
don't know.
I guess only one way to find out.
Stick my hand in there and see what's going on.
With your tires, did you off the top of my head, I don't know the overall diameter, but are they bigger than stock diameter? And did you have any problems fitting them?
Okay, so the tires that were on my car when I got it were 220 or 235 55 18s. So no, they're. I want to say they're. I think the ones I had were like a 28.9 or something like that.
Okay.
And then the ones I got now are like 29.1
Oh,
or 29,
almost identical.
somewhere there. Yeah, they were very much identical.
Okay.
The only rubbing I had was on my RokBlokz
mud flap.
mud guards.
Mm-hmm.
When I looked at them too, is they equal out. So my wheel, it was like 5 pounds lighter than stock, but the tire is 5 pounds heavier than stock.
Yeah.
So it works out to be exactly the same.
I
It's
love
the same
that.
weight and everything. The only difference is, they're a narrower tire. Because like my old tires, I have the 1-inch spacer on them, and they would poke out a little bit. I like that. I was like, a little bit of poke. Everybody likes a little bit of poke. These don't. They don't poke. So it's the offset. You offset in the thinner tire. So, but I did think about like, oh, I should just remove them then. But then they would be like way tucked in, and I'm like, nah. I ain't doing that.
Yeah. I'm not against wheel spacers as long as they're torqued right. I've never had a problem. Not
Maybe
even
I should get like a couple more, just like
stack them. Some whistling diesel action.
Well, what's funny? What's funny is it makes me think like with I see people all the time that they badmouth the lifts on these, like the puck lift,
Oh
because
yeah,
they're like,
all the time.
oh, snapping axles, whatever. I'm like, I don't understand that. And they're like, oh,
Yeah,
if you compound that with the wheel spacers, ball joint snapping axles. I'm like, knock on wood. I'm this thing. I don't know how it was driven before I got it. It's got just about 60,000 miles on it now. All the original stuff. Like, I mean, don't get me lower control arms. Yes, I've replaced those because Arizona destroys bushings.
anything with rubber.
But the thing, yeah, which I got my new shocks, and then the first thing I hear a clunk, I'm like, "What's that?" I look down, I'm like, "It's been 2 years. I got to replace my freaking control arms again." It
Arizona
sucks.
heat, man.
It sucks, but like I'm still running. I check my boots all the time. I'm like, they're
Hmm.
still going good. I see people snapping axles, just daily driving it. I'm like, I don't understand how they're doing it.
Because I've had the same experience as you. In all my years driving lifted Subarus, I've only had one axle failure,
Mm-hmm.
and it was specifically caused. I know exactly how I did it. It was because I was up in the air at full throttle trying to
Mm-hmm.
climb up something because I had open diff at the time. And as soon as I crested over that, the wheel at full speed,
Oh, crunch.
all that shock load down onto the ground, and within a couple months, boom, starts clicking. I was like, oh, I know how that happened.
I mean, it's one of
But
those things. I came from like front wheel drive cars, so I know exactly what the clicking is.
yeah, yeah,
Usually I'm always like, it's always that passenger side, the longer one. Like it's always that one.
yeah,
Um, but like, so it's like I don't want to hear that. But the thing is yeah, like when you're talking about the open diff, it's like yes, the one thing I'm still want to do the torque locker. It's like the one thing I
I'll do it.
haven't done that I want to do.
Yeah, you should. Well, and I think the other thing too, I'm glad you mentioned that you check your boots.
Mhm.
Nobody does that. I think that's the biggest destroyer of axles is people don't check the
Yep.
boots. Then they take the darn thing and they run it through a creek, they run it
Oh
through
yeah, yeah,
mud, they run it through sand, and it just stuffs a bunch of crap in there, evacuates all the grease and grinds the little, the machine surfaces up, and then,
yeah. I
oh,
haven't
what
driven like a
happened?
bunch of front wheel drive cars and having to replace CV axles in like parking lots and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
dude, like it's I know the mess the grease that grease makes. I don't want to clean that up.
Oh, dude, and it smells so bad.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Especially on Subarus because it's always the front axles almost that go bad, and it flings that grease right onto the manifold, and you just
right.
get that lovely smell. It's like, oh, dude.
There's one way to tell when it goes bad.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, I'd rather reboot it ahead of time, but yeah, 100%.
See, that's the other thing. I was like, because I remember I was talking to my mechanic, and I was like talking to him about the CV axles because I see so many people go with the aftermarket because
Oh,
they don't want to spend the money or whatever, and it's like,
yeah,
no, you're gonna fail. And then he was
yeah,
showing me he got one of like the rebooters, and I'm like, I would
yeah,
just do that then,
yeah, dude. That
as
weird
long
little
as the
tool.
inside's not destroyed.
Yeah, if the inside's still fine, and it's not,
I mean, I've never done that. I've back in the day when I people would reboot, I'd look at it and I'm like, no,
yeah,
I ain't about fighting with that grease and all that crap.
yeah, yeah, a little different on Subarus,
Mm,
but no, I agree. And I mean, most shops will do a reboot for you for not, not too bad, but
yeah,
it sure beats paying $500 for an OEM axle.
yeah.
No thanks. Okay, let me ask you about. I know you got all kinds of goodies on that thing.
Mm-hmm.
To the best of your memory, what all do you have on the car?
Let's see. I got the full primitive skid plate set.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Sparco wheels with the Geolandar MT tires. SSD light bar up front. I have an ADF 2-inch lift on it. I have an ADF. I have their digital light brackets. I
Okay.
also have the rear end stiffener. Those little things you
That
put in the rear end things.
Yeah, the bracket.
Well, the two little puck things that slide in there. I got that. I also have their anti-wobble insert. Uh,
Nice.
that ADF stuff.
Yeah, I'm the same way, dude. Are you currently in the market for a lift kit for your Subaru? Or have you put a crappy Amazon or eBay lift kit on it and realized maybe you shouldn't have done that? Well, if you're in the market for that, or skid plates, ditch light brackets, molly panels, any kind of other off-road Subaru stuff, make sure that you check out today's sponsor, Anderson Design and Fabrication. They are offering you guys a 5% off deal if you use code DIRTSUBIES at checkout. All you got to do is go to their website, awdadventure.com, use that code DIRTSUBIES when you check out, and you will get 5% off. And I can't speak highly enough of their stuff. You guys know that I've been running their products for over 10 years at this point and have just absolutely beat the crap out of them. I've got their lift kit on my Forester currently, and I will probably never use another lift kit brand ever. Their stuff is just solid. So it means a lot to me, the fact that Patrick was willing to do me a favor and sponsor the podcast and giving you guys a way to make purchasing a quality lift kit more affordable. So go over there, get whatever you need, use that code, and make sure in the notes section you tell him thank you, because he doesn't need to discount any of his products. He's literally killing it. But again, it's just a favor that he's doing for us, and I really appreciate Patrick.
I have the full Force Metalworks rock sliders. I've gone back and forth with removing them, but like I've used them quite a bit out here with some of those wedges, and they work really well. Also, great jack points. My cooling for my transmission, I just went with a cheap Amazon one. I'm not gonna spend a bunch of money on Mishimoto stuff when you don't have to.
Did you use a Hayden cooler?
I don't remember. It was some like, I think it was like $50-$60, something like that. I do have another one that has a bigger flow rate with more baffling.
Okay.
The fins.
Yeah.
And I haven't installed because I'm like, until I have really an issue, I don't really want to mess with it right now. Because it is bigger too. But the cheap one I've got's been in there for 4 years or whatever it is now, and it's still fine. No leaks, no nothing.
You got a ladder.
I do have a widow ladder. Yeah. I have a different charge pipe.
Okay.
I put that in. I do have some silicone Grim Speed coming for my intake piping. I'm not changing the stock intake. I'm just the rubber that's in there, the corrugated tubing. I kept having this issue. I kept like losing like a big boost leak, and I'm like, what is going on? I changed my turbo inlet. I changed the turbo like bypass valve. Everything, you name it. And I was like, what is going on? And lo and behold, I'm like that. I even changed the clamp on it now, but like that, the back of the air box, there's the tube that connects to the rubber tube, the post mass airflow, and it just, as soon as it gets hot out here, it slips off.
Oh,
nothing I've done like keeps it on there. So I'm like, I'm just gonna get the silicone and just get the what are they, the same hose clamps I got for my other
like band
cooler and stuff like that. I got the torque clamps, like the bolt in there with the spring.
Yeah, those like V-band clamps. Is that what they call them?
You kind of like something like that, like more like high, like torqueable clamps, like they handle more pressure. Yeah. So I just use those. It's one of like the bigger fixes people tend to do with WRXs and the Forster XTs. Trying to think what else. I got the roof rack with a different roof rack now. It's bigger. It was more aerodynamic until they put my new lights up top.
Well, what is it? What kind of roof rack?
It's just cheaper. Well, not cheaper. Just an Amazon one. The one originally I had was a Max Haul. It was like the freight one.
Okay.
And I think everybody runs that littler one. This one actually fits the entire top of the roof, side to side and also lengthwise. So I got my spare up there, and it would fit my traction boards, but it's one of those things that like I can put them in my car when I go off-roading. I don't need to have them up there all the time. Just causes more wind resistance. I do have my awning back up there. I'm always missing stuff.
Same.
I mean, I got my I got the aux, the switch panel.
Mm-hmm.
I got the 6-gang switch. And I think when I counted, if you count my lights individually, like the front and the bar light up top, it's 20 lights.
That's out of
It's
control,
got
dude.
four on the front, two on the hood, six up top on the front, and then I got three on each side of the rack, and then two in the back.
Okay, some little side shooters.
Then I got my nameless axle back. My entire exhaust is a resonatorless STI exhaust.
And those just bolt right on, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. You gotta be like the thing for me was like when my car, I had the nameless, like when I had the original stock exhaust, and then it has that big flat pancake resonator, and I'm like, okay, screw
Mm-hmm.
that. And then I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I'm gonna get this. There was a WRX exhaust, but it had like the resonator in the middle. I'm like I had that, and that's actually what I had when I hit that rock that went underneath my car and dented the whole thing.
Okay.
And I was like, but I'm like, still, it's like the exhaust ain't loud. Like there's nothing there. And then I was like, some guy had the resonator list, like the delete one that was on, I think STR WRX. It was on like some of the whatever editions,
Okay.
premium or touring, and he had it for like $100, and I was just like, dude, you take 50. He goes, you come today, you can have it for 20. I'm like, deal. And I mean, I
Let's
drove
go.
like 45 minutes to get it, but I'm like, hell
That's a
yeah, man.
deal, bro.
But yeah, I mean, that's just straight take off, put right back on. The only thing I've noticed with mine, I don't know if the base models have this issue, but with the ADF lift, the back end, when you have the exhaust comes out, mine wise to the double, whereas
Okay.
stock goes single. Mine actually, I have to like, I put like a rubber like thing in there because it actually contacts the subframe. So when you're
Okay.
driving, you get that rattle. And I was just like, so I had to put like my own spacer thing in there to try to stop it. Like I've tried different hangers, I've tried everything. It's like unless I get hangers that drop my exhaust like 3 inches, that looks retarded. Like
Yeah.
it ain't
Well, that's
happening.
because you've got multi-link spacers, right? And it's bringing the
Hmm.
subframe down about an inch or
Well, I think it
two
leaves it
inches.
stock, doesn't it? Well, same height. Well, yeah, it would be 2 inch subframe spacer. Yeah,
Yeah, I can't remember, but yeah, that sucks. I hate that sound too. Like
because it
exhaust
keeps your
rattling.
subframe stock so that your CV angles are true and your drive shaft angles. I think all that stuff is true.
Yeah, it also keeps your rear wheels, like your
Oh yeah, I've seen
caster.
people like, dude. I almost went with oh, what was that company? Race, was it Race something or something that had the 2 inch lift that's really cheap?
Okay.
And I was like, oh yeah, it's like puck lift. I'm like, oh, I should do that. But then I was like, all these other places have the subframe, like the spacers, like
Yeah.
ADF and all them, and I'm like, they don't have that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and then I noticed, I think it was it Rally Tech that was the same way? Because like their space, they didn't have it, and it said like, oh, anything under like 2 inch or under, you don't need it. And I'm like, well, going off the forums, I'm like, that don't seem right.
Yeah.
But sure enough, I'm like, there's people that I see like buy it, and like that back tire is just kicked out way
Way up
forward. I'm like,
against.
oh my
Yeah.
god.
Well, and Subarus already kind of have like a tendency for the rear wheel to look pushed forward a little bit, even in stock form.
Mhm.
Then you exacerbate it with a lift, and it's even worse, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, no, thanks. I want room for the mud terrains, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard too because like, uh, coming from Illinois, it's like I grew up with my buddies and everybody mudding. So you got like the
Yeah.
15-inch tires with like 40s on them.
Yep. Yep.
At old like the 1970s like Fords and Chevys. I mean, just having a blast.
Yeah.
And then here I am, like even my dad's got an Xterra like with no freaking miles on, like a 2014. I think he's got like 50,000
Okay.
miles on it. But he's got the Nito mud grapplers, I think they
Oh
are.
yeah, dude.
And I'm just like, dude, I'm like looking at his tire going, that's awesome looking. I'm like, can I put it next to my car? I'm like, it'll never happen unless I get like a 7 inch lift. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, you gotta put your Forester on like a Chevy Blazer frame in order to make that work.
I've seen those. Was it the Subi Lift Oz, man? Those huge ass lists for like the
Yeah.
old cars and stuff. I'm like, I'd
Yep.
love to get an old one and do that. But I'm like, to me, it's just like when you're changing like the the steering shaft, all that. I'm like,
Oh
oh man,
yeah.
there's so much shit can break.
Yeah, exactly. Just a lot of work, and unless
Yeah,
you're doing a drivetrain swap to where you've got a
it'd be easier just
T-case,
putting a body on a freaking S10.
yeah. Yeah, it makes almost no sense unless you're going to do that, get a low gear.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Let me ask you about the lift kit. So you're
Mm-hmm.
running an ADF lift.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've got a couple questions there. How did you arrive at your final purchase decision with that lift kit? And then what was the install like? Did you do it? Did you pay somebody to do it?
So ADF, it was just like doing like all the research on forums, Instagram, everything, and then just looking at the differences between what everybody else had to offer and what they had to offer. And I just, there's, I think the main difference was I was finding a lot of like, it coming with the 2 inch, multi-link spacer.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I think what else I noticed too was people were talking about the touch to detail with the top portion, being tweaked, because you have to keep that geometry the same,
Yeah.
for the
The camber.
for the camber and cat. Yeah. So it was a lot of that. Like I noticed a lot of attention to detail there. So and then finding, a lot of like the videos and the articles that Patrick was writing on there too, especially the articles, like reading about the different builds, and they were kind of showing some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, then also like they're one of the only ones I think that still to this day where you go to their site and it'll tell you, hey, you got this vehicle this year, this lift, this is what you can fit on it. Like nobody else is
Yeah.
doing that. Like I mean, it's probably outdated. There's probably more tires you can fit, but that's kind of how I came to that conclusion. I thought about, I mean, there wasn't really, there's, when I first did it, there wasn't like anybody out there doing suspension really,
Mm-hmm.
um, except for I think Gorilla. I think Gorilla's one of them, and then
Yeah.
one Ryan's got
Flat out.
flat out, and I'm just like, I am not spending that much money
Yeah.
because of the fact that
Yeah.
like, you know, when I got it, Matt, my mechanic Matt's the one that installed it. I helped him out, you know. I went over there because I was gonna do it until the subframe part of it. I'm like, that's kind of where I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
In my head, I was like, how would I do this in my driveway? You know what I mean? And then doing it at his place, in his garage, but watching how he does it because he's done it before, and he works on so many of our Subarus, pretty much everybody's, not just Subarus,
Mm-hmm.
but every kind of car, new, old, classic, whatever you want. I love his attention to detail, almost the OCD-ness of how he works.
That's what you look
Taking
for in a
stuff
good
out,
mechanic.
stuff's lined up where it goes. It's all in bags. It's just
Yeah.
perfect. So watching that process was nice too. And then, obviously he's got a badass Forester. He's got an old Subaru. He's got two old Subarus, a Forester. He's got a K truck now. Like, I mean,
Sick.
dude, and an
Sick.
Outback. Like, I mean, he's Mr. Subaru to me. He's got the long travel stuff, but even like he was saying, like you're only going so far. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
a limitation there with your control arms and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, is the puck lift the best thing? No, because obviously you take your. I mean, I'd rather have a shock that's 2 inches taller than stock versus the puck, so you have more shock. Because this obviously brings it down, so you kind of limit that. But the only one on the market, I think, at the time, even recently, when I got my Bilstein, I went to B6s and the Rally Tech springs, uh, not the overloads or anything. Because yeah, like I went to change my tires on one day and the whole tire just kind of sagged. I was like, that's not supposed to do that. And then top hats broke off from the shocks.
Oh,
I was running
dude.
stock suspension for 4 years off roading and everything, and it was working pretty good
Yeah.
until it wasn't. You know, and
Yeah.
if I wasn't rotating my tires, dude, I would never have even noticed it. It didn't make a sound, nothing.
That's
You know,
crazy.
Stupid crazy, yeah. And then I went with the Bilsteins. I was going back and forth. Originally, I was going to go with the Ironmans, but dude, so many issues with those things. I don't care if they come and say like, "Oh, we fixed." I no. I mean, after what I've seen, like where people put them on and they bend right away, they're leaking. I mean,
Yeah.
I looked online. There was a set like a brand new guy had them on for like 2 weeks that were leaking, and he had them on Facebook Marketplace. I'm like, no, I'm like, I'm not going to
Yeah.
do it. And then after I got mine is when Flat Out came out with theirs, which I think were the 2 inch taller ones. But I think theirs were more expensive than the freaking or the coilovers that like what Ryan's got. Like they were like the same
Yeah.
price or something. I'm like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. The thing with struts and springs, man, like if you see a full set of struts and springs that are under $1,500, you can kind of guess, well, how did they achieve that price point? Well, probably by using stuff that they haven't dialed in yet with a manufacturer that is obviously
Yep.
not charging a lot of money. And, I remember, I've said this before, but when they first came out, I remember saying, this is cool. I appreciate that this is a new item. But if you're going to go this route, you just have to understand this is a new product that hasn't been tried and true yet.
Yeah.
And, that they have to get a bunch of units back that have failed to find out, okay, where did this fail? What, how can we fix this and improve it? And here we are a few years later, and there's still people with saggy stuff.
It's one of those things that like I'm not knocking their company or anything. I mean, it's just I mean, like anybody, there's a lot of people that have success with them, and a lot of people that
Hmm.
don't. I mean, it's just which batch did you get? I mean, it
Yeah, yeah,
happens like because the same thing with mine. I went with the B6s because they're tried and true, right? Doesn't mean I couldn't have got some that were bunk or whatever, but originally I was going to go with what was it? The next one up with the B8s, I think they are.
I
Is that
think
what they
so.
are?
There's the B6 and the B8.
Yeah, but the B8s, but there was people having issues with them when they came out. So that's the reason I was like, okay, I'm going to stick with the one that's tried and true. So I went with that one. It's one of those things that like, am I ever going to get as comfortable as a ride of stock? I'm like, no. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like, I mean, it
exactly.
was like
Yeah,
riding on a pillow out there half the
yeah,
time. But I'm like, but it's one of those things that like I need something that's gonna take the abuse a lot better. And sure
yeah.
enough, since I've had them, because I think when you were here when we went out, I was on my stock one still.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
That was October of 24 when we did those trails
No, just that was last year, just last
last year.
summer.
Yeah, last summer I came out briefly,
Yeah,
but
when we went out with Ryan and John.
yeah, that was October of 24.
No, it wasn't.
Like October or November.
No, it was
I
not. Was it
promise. Hold on,
really?
hold on. We got to now maybe I'm going crazy, but let me check.
No way.
Let me find that photo. It was either
Yeah,
October or November of 24
yeah, I'm
where we
trying to
went down
find
into
it.
Sedona.
Oh my god, it was. It was 24.
Yeah, cuz he did a throwback Thursday of it,
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I thought
and
it was last year. Wow, that's. Oh no,
that was
wait.
a
You
sick
came
trail.
out. Oh, you came out briefly
Mhm.
last year. That we didn't go out
Yeah.
because that's when we went to Twin Peaks and everything. I remember.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we
Yeah,
went and got
yeah,
food. Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, here it is, November 27th,
Yeah, I
24,
know.
bro.
I just found it.
Isn't that crazy?
I was like, holy crap.
Well, that was before you'd lost all the weight and stuff.
That was before health issues.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, look at you now, man, making me look bad.
Yeah, I'm actually like zooming in on my picture here, and it's like I do have the bill Steves in there.
Okay, okay, cool. Yeah, I was oh yeah, I can see him actually. Yeah, I was pretty impressed with how well your car did. I think that might have been probably one of the gnarlier trails you'd had it on to that point, right?
Um, no, I wouldn't say the earliest. I would say, dude, I love Ryan, but the least navigatable trail. It was kind of like somebody's like, I know it's like the back of my hand. Oh, that's new. You know what I mean? Because like we're driving, he's like, I think this was it, and we're going, but it
That's
was a
me, dude.
fantastic time.
Yeah.
And we learned like how he learned like don't air down too far. Kept
I
popping
I
beads
learned
off.
he was listening to my bad advice because I didn't realize he had 8-inch wide wheels,
Uh-huh.
and and so
Oh,
you don't
they're
have enough
eights.
clamping force,
I didn't know they were
right?
eights.
Yeah, it's an
Oh,
8-inch wide, right?
okay.
His I thought for whatever reason it didn't occur to me that I should check the width of his wheel. I was like, oh yeah, go down to like 15 psi. Who gives a fudge? And
No,
with
I've gone down to
something.
15 and I'm fine, but I think he went down. What did he go down to, like 9?
I don't think he went that low.
I think he was in single digits when it
Really?
first
Okay.
popped off, and then he
Yeah.
went to
So I
like
gave him
10 and
even
it popped off or something.
I gave him even worse advice then. Well, the thing is you've got a way the Sparco Terra is a way more narrow wheel,
Mm,
and the wider the wheel, the less clamping force on the bead,
yeah,
and I mean they're harder to set the tire, but um, yeah, I'm used to just running 7-inch wide wheels on the Subaru, but then I was like, oh yeah, just air them down to 10 or whatever I said.
I think mine are like 8.5.
Wait, really?
Hold on, let me.
Dude, hold on. They're
I can look them
17s,
up.
right? Now I gotta know, dude. I don't want to be giving out bad info. By the way, those wheels look sick.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm a
Oh
fan.
no, they're 7.5.
Okay, okay.
But yeah, even like with those tires, like I've tested it like in my driveway. I went down to like, normally with my the Falcons on the stocks, I went down to 20.
Mm-hmm. Just
25, 20, and you can see like that bubble
mm-hmm.
on the bottom. I mean,
That's that
these things. I
sidewall,
went I
dude.
went down to like, I think the first I went down to was like 10, and I
Yeah,
couldn't even tell they were aired down.
dude.
Just
It
sitting there. I
all
mean, you could feel it when you press, but I'm like, that sidewall is stiff.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, man. Because people will ask me what tire pressure should I run? It's like, I don't know, man. How much does your car weigh? What's the load rating of the tires? How wide are your wheels? Like, what are you doing? And it's all just an experimentation game, you
Yeah,
know.
with me, it's like when I'm off roading now, it's like I got the valves that you screw or whatever, and I
Mm-hmm.
was just like I think 15 is where I feel comfortable. It's soft enough. I know it works. I mean, could they go lower? Probably, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I also don't want to debeat anything, which I don't
Mm-hmm.
even know because looking at the tires I got, with people buying them, and you can actually see like the bead and stuff. Like that sidewall is pretty damn thick. They're almost like a
Yeah.
UTV tire.
I mean, it's a mud terrain. Anytime you're running a mud terrain, they're gonna be,
Because I've
you
seen
know,
people that are on like they have them on Toyotas and stuff like that when they're off roading. I mean, obviously, I don't even think they're real beadlocks, but I've seen people like they go down to like 2 and 5, and they're
yeah.
still and they're doing
Well,
great. And that's heavier. I think that's heavier than my car,
yeah.
like a
Well, I got a
Forerunner.
buddy. He had an XJ for a while, which is the same kind of Jeep I have, and those are just unibody, like super light budget 4x4s that they
Dude,
started
I was gonna
making.
say, dude, I know for the fact that like I went on this YouTube kick
Yeah.
with my buddy because like obviously I told you I've been up to Vancouver, Washington, where his son lives, and I'm watching these tough truck competitions at a fair where they're ramping stuff or whatever, and they're all
Yeah.
XJs and everything. I'm like,
Yeah.
and I find out it's 5 minutes down the five from his house.
Which I'm trying. Was that at the Clark County
Yeah,
Fairgrounds? Yeah,
yeah.
dude.
So
Yeah,
so I
that's like
looked it
20
up. I'm
minutes.
like, dude, you know where I'm gonna be in fucking August? I'm gonna come there. I want to run it. I
Yeah.
got to get a vehicle and run it. And now that I know you're there, you're gonna do it too.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm about 3.5 hours from there now, but
Doesn't
that's like
matter. They
20
like
minutes from where I
trailers.
grew up. I'll make the trip out there. I don't give a fudge. I got a place to stay.
I'm like, right? Like I just saw them doing that, like in the fair, ramping them. I'm
Yeah,
like, I want to do that so bad. And then to find out it's 5 minutes down the road from his son's house, I'm like, come on now.
that whole area. I miss the forest out there. There's a lot of crazy wheelers that come out of that area.
Dude, when I
But
was
dude,
out there, we went to, so I flew in there and then we went to Cannon Beach and Astoria.
oh yeah, the Goonies
Wife's
house.
a huge Goonies fan, so I made her dreams come true. We went, stayed at, Haystack Beach there at Cannon Beach,
Yeah,
Haystack
dude.
Rock. We went to Astoria, did all that stuff, did the jail tour of the house and everything like
Yeah.
that, and then stayed at the was it Cannery Pier down there. Beautiful
Okay.
place, beautiful place. And then obviously we stayed at my friend's son's house in Vancouver, and then left from there. That's kind of what we did. And
Okay.
dude, I saw so many Subarus, not one modified Subaru to be seen, not one.
That's that's so funny because there's a ton of them in that. Even just in Vancouver proper, there's
No,
a
dude, I like
buttload.
every like we went out to eat all the stuff driving down like all these streets, then downtown Vancouver there a little bit, or if you want to call it downtown,
Yeah.
but like not one modified like off-road Subaru. I'm like, this is the weirdest thing ever. Yep,
Yeah, there's a bunch of them out there, man. Like
they're
one of
hidden.
the yeah, that they must all been like Eric's coming. We got to get out of here.
Well, I've been there twice.
That's so funny. Yeah, there's actually like a Subaru group that I used to do trails with out there.
The PNW one.
Not that one. It's a different one. It's called Subi Adventure Club,
Okay.
SAC for short.
Nice,
we,
nice.
we intentionally, well, they intentionally named it that, but
As you do.
yeah. But I think 80% of the people that are involved in that are like Vancouver area.
Huh.
So I don't know what the deal is, but I guess what I was gonna say though, those XJs, my buddy was running that same tire you mentioned, the Nitto Mud Grapplers.
Yeah, yeah.
He was running those on an XJ, and you would think, oh, it's a 4x4, it's going to be heavy. Dude, he was running the 38 fives on that XJ, and he had to run open valve cores and run them down the street on the pavement just to break in the sidewalls enough to get them to squat even at 0 psi.
Dude, I wonder
It's
if that's what I gotta do.
what's that?
I said, I wonder if
Yeah,
that's what I gotta do. Because well, the thing is when I got them when they were delivered, they were at 65 psi.
so they're just going off what the tire says, you know?
Well, no, the tire says 80. So like so they were at like 65. I brought them down. I think I was at 40, and then I was like, that's still a little bit stiff.
Yeah.
So I think right now I run them at about 36 and a half, somewhere in there.
Okay. Did you chalk
And
test them at all?
no, I do. I keep meaning to, but like
Yeah.
I keep an eye on them. Because they have like on the edge, like the center and the edges, they
Mm-hmm.
have like the little dimples
Like
inside or
indicator?
whatever, and like like kind of like the little seepers, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And no, like they're all wearing pretty good. Plus, I
Cool.
rotate them and everything. So
And you'll kind of know when the tire feels right. Like if it doesn't feel right, you'll know.
well, the one thing I love about them is so I know my dad's Nitos, and then also the Wild Peaks. Dude, they track some fierce. Like you hit like a groove in the
Really?
road, and they
Go
follow
all
that
over the place.
groove. And these, nope, I haven't
Hmm.
had an issue at all.
Yeah,
Like,
that
and I've
might be
intentionally gone into, like
ruts.
that blacktop line or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and nope,
Hmm.
not an issue at
Wonder
all.
wonder if that's got anything to do with them being way more narrow.
Could be.
I don't, as many tires as I've bought,
I'm
I
not a
have
tire
so much
expert,
to
so.
learn, right? Same. I should be with all the money I've spent on rubber, but here I
But
am.
I did watch like when picking them. I've always wanted the mud tire. Like I love
Mm-hmm.
mud tires.
Oh,
When
same.
I grew up, dude, it was Super Swampers.
Yeah,
Which
dude.
don't
TSLs.
if you have them out here, it's horrible because
Yeah.
I've seen people have them out here and it's like the desert because they think like, oh, the sand will work. No, it just
No.
rips them apart.
Yeah.
And I mean, if I was up in Flagstaff or something, I'd probably have something with them. Like it'd probably work up there. It's a lot more actual mud, not clay, like down here.
Yeah.
But I watched a bunch of videos from all different like tire manufacturers, but also like when they do their kind of like lineup, and then I've watched a
Yeah.
lot of off road ones where they were doing different tires from different brands and what's good for what. And I do like the new style of the RTs. I do like a lot of those,
Yeah. Hybrids.
but they don't come in the size. Like they don't
Yeah.
have ones that fit because I think the open country RTs that they have out now. Because my dad had uh, he had open country MTs, which he didn't like. Like those
Okay.
things wore really bad. They were a really really stiff tire. He had like a Dixie
They
Beck
are.
tire also that was super like hard.
Yeah.
What's nice about the Nitos, I've noticed that they're really soft tires, so like you get some really good traction and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Mine are kind of like an in between. I mean, they're not bad,
Yeah.
but the
I love
RTs,
your tires.
yeah. I mean, if anybody's like on the fence about them, like just you can get a deal and do it. Like they're
Yeah.
it's not like even the thing is, it's like I don't know how many miles I got them on now, but probably over 10,000 miles on them, and dude, you can't even tell there's like no wear whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
As
a
long
mean
as
looking
long as you're
tire.
keeping them, aligned, all that stuff. But they work great. And they're
Yeah,
supposed to get like 50,000 mile warranty or whatever's on them.
it's a good looking tire and it performs like a mofo. I've got
Yeah.
a buddy that he had a straight axle swap third gen Forerunner. Was running 37s on those. I don't even know how many rear wheeler peelers he did in that thing, and so, with a welded rear diff, somehow they survived like 20,000
Just
miles before
renewing
the
the
thing
tread
was
on it.
wrecked.
That's all he's doing.
Yeah, just heating them up. Okay, let me pick your brain about trail stories. Like, where do you like to take the car if you're going off road, and have you ever had any fiascos out on the trails?
That's a good one. You know what's funny is, where I grew up and everything is, I would love to be where you're at. Um,
I'm in the desert out here, bro.
okay,
The other
where,
part,
yeah,
yeah, the PNW proper.
yeah. I guess like up that way. Kind of like even like that Vancouver area. Like it's,
Oh, dude,
I noticed like a lot of like trails that go off and like it's actual proper mud. You're going through
yeah,
tree lines where you're having, I used to like, I had so many friends that run, farms and stuff, and I love like, I used to ATV and stuff, and you have like the trails that are, going through the grass, so, like, like stuff like that.
yeah,
Like I love those kinds of trails out here. You know, I'm in the desert proper. You know what I mean? So
yeah, same.
it's it's kind of hard. Like I have my go-to places, kind of nice little drive, nice little escapes. Seeing people out there in Hondas, just you're ridiculous. Like I'll see Civics out there. Like one day, dude. Like one day I was off roading with my
Sick.
dad, and there was like a BMW loaded up with a bunch of people in it, like a car, like a 3 Series. And I'm like watching them, like they're driving slow, and dude, it is dumping antifreeze off the bottom of the front of the car, like just dumping because you're going through rocks like that big. I mean,
Yeah,
like what do you? I think that's the biggest thing out here is you get a lot of people that tend to try to explore in cars they shouldn't. Like when it says the
yeah,
road ends, like it means the road ends. Like don't go. But
yeah,
um,
yeah.
but anyway, so I in Flagstaff I've been up to the Cinders. There was that photo I had, I think, when I was up on the mountain. Uh, that was an interesting climb. CVT did not like that.
Yeah, they don't like that steep stuff.
Was especially so the XT, my version. You have the intelligent, you have sport, and then you have that sport hashtag, which is like it mimics like
Sport
an eight.
sharp.
Yeah, it mimics like an 8 speed transmission,
Okay.
which is what mine is always in. That with the pedal commander, so it's like
Yeah.
always like you barely. I always look at it like the old Disney cartoon, like Goofy, like the big toe just comes out and like presses the gas and he's just gone. Like that's kind of how mine is in a way.
Heck yeah.
No miles per gallon. So I had it in that mode with the pedal commander or the throttle controller, and it's the
I know we talked about it, but I can't remember either,
yeah,
dude.
I've had it for 4 or 5 years, whatever it is now. I learned actually, like, one is, because like when it was going up, like I had all kinds of boost, all kinds of speed, and then like as it got up, it started hitting that 8 speed thing or whatever it does. Like it didn't know how to shift, like where it was supposed to be.
Okay.
And then dude, like I got up and I had nothing. Halfway up, just nothing. No throttle, no nothing. And then all of a sudden it just like revved and kicked in and I went up and I'm like, okay, so computer obviously was like didn't know what the hell was going on.
Is it
Um,
Ultimate 9?
yeah,
Okay.
that's what it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, sick. I had to look it up.
I think they were bought out. I think they were bought out by
Okay.
somebody else. But yeah, that's the Ultimate 9. And then so that's when I kind of learned like when I do go off road, like it's in sport mode, like regular sport mode, and the throttle controller's off. Because I did
Okay.
a test with the throttle controller, and anybody that has one can try this. I have ramps, like you're gonna change your oil, whatever. And when I had it on like normal, and I was just in sport or even trying to get up the ramps, like
Mhm.
I'd have to give it gas to go up ramps. I'm like, what the hell? And it was like a lot more gas, throttle than normal. So I backed it down and I turned it off, and then I just kind of like went up the ramps without like touching the gas, and it just crawled right up them.
Dude, that's so
So it
weird.
messes it, yeah, with the throttle, whatever it does, like it.
Yeah.
So I noticed a big difference, like even now when I turn it off and go off road, because most of the time when I go out, there's a lot of people I know, it's like in the cross track stuff that'll do the run up. Like they'll get that run up, and I'm like, I don't know if it's because it's turbo too, but I don't have to do that. Like it just kind of just goes.
Yeah.
It's another reason I want that torque locker.
Yes. Yeah, dude.
But but going back to your question now, a lot of the desert stuff is kind of what we have. A lot of where John has been going, he goes up kind of like northeastern, up by like Payson, up that area, which I want to
Okay.
get up that way more because you see what he goes through. It's a lot of that foresty stuff. Like I want to get up that way more, but it's just
Yeah.
2 hour drive, and I don't know how half these people have time to do all this stuff.
Yeah, I
But
get it.
yeah, I see people camping all the time. I'm like, you guys work? Like,
Do
what the
I was gonna
hell?
say, do you
Like,
guys have jobs?
yeah, and I've been through a couple of trails up there. I really like it up there. If I could move, I'd move up to like Prescott area up that way because you got all the woods and all that stuff.
I love it up
Down
there.
here, it's hard because me and Ryan have gone out quite a bit. Me and him, exploring, and then I used to have a UTV, so I've been all over with my vehicle plus the UTV. And it's kind of, to me, off roading in the desert, it gets kind of boring. This the terrain, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just a lot of like jarring. It's not actual just fun, like exploring trails, going through like because not really any mud. It's all just dry.
Yeah.
And then there's some other areas I went in the UTV that I couldn't do in mine. I mean, I would explore trails like because if I'm in my Forester and I'm going on a trail, I'm like, oh, where does that go? But I'm like, I don't know if I want to go down there because I don't know if I can get out. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
when I
that's
was in
always the
UTV, I
question.
would go back there and be like, now I'm going down there. And then I would find out a lot of times, like, there was one me and Ryan hit, and he's like, oh, we should go this way. I'm like, it was a huge drop off. Like, well, we went down one trail and we hit a drop off, and like, he didn't rub because he's a little bit higher than mine with the Outback. And then my rock sliders hit. And I was like,
Okay.
no big deal. Whatever. It is what it
But
is.
can you get up?
That
You
was
gotta
the
turn
thing,
around.
dude. We got down there, and I'm like, we came to a point, and it crosses this little wash thing, and then it goes up to the right. And I'm noticing the rocks on that side are bigger. And I'm like, hold on. So I went over there and walked it. I'm like, went up there. I'm like, no. Like, no. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not going that way. But the turn around, like, dude, it was like a 20-point turn trying to get out of this, especially with both of us. And then it was like, okay, am I going to be able to get out now? You know what I mean? He's got the V6, so and a little bit higher, so he was able to get out. He got out a little bit easier than me. Then again, like I've also learned I tend not to use X mode very much at all because I think it hinders more than it helps.
I've
In
heard
some
mixed reviews
aspects,
on it. Yeah.
it's just one of those weird things. Like I've tried using it, and it's just like, dude, it revs so high for not doing anything. So I just try not to use because like I was trying to use it, and I was getting like stuck on this rock, so I just turned it off, and then boom, right up. I was able to
Yeah.
use it. One of the things I always have to remember is turning off the eyesight stuff when I go off road too,
Mm-hmm.
because that'll cause issues. It was one of those things like where we came out of this other trail and there was like another like 2 ledge drop off, and it went out to like the bottom of this lake bed. And he's like, I think we can get out over there. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it. And then I went out there in a UTV like a week later, and I was like, yeah, dude, there's no way out. And on the other side, and there was no way in hell we were gonna get back out the way we came in.
Yeah,
You
there's no
know,
trees out there to winch off of, even if you had one.
no, like
You know.
that's the one thing is one of the things like I have. I think everybody has like the bookmarks of all like the different products that they want to get for their car down the line.
Yeah.
I'm
Same.
systematically deleting them because I'm getting all this shit or getting better. I did find like a winch bumper that goes behind the stock because I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I like my stock look. I mean, I do like the off-road bumper. I really want a tube bumper, but they're just so damn expensive.
Oh yeah. And
And
you
to
got
get
to
them shipped,
sacrifice,
like nobody. I mean, you went through the thing where you reached out to somebody trying to get something made, and you never hear
dude.
from them.
It
You
was the
know,
worst. Yeah, that pissed me off real bad.
I'm one of those people. Like, kind of when I got my rock sliders, I'm like, dude, Patrick, somebody wants to do something with an SJ, let me know. I'll drive it the frick out there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, dude.
I'm like, I'll take time off and stay with you.
Yeah,
But
seriously.
it's like, I did think about that. Like, the winch thing. A lot of them like you probably have to use ground anchors or straps for like if you
Yeah.
got a big enough rock or something. But
Mm-hmm.
um, that's one of the reasons I got the hitch with and I got the hitch and I put the shackle in the
Shackle.
back. Just I need a stronger toe point because I've seen the horrors of
Yeah.
ripping that tied out. It's just a hold down from like a
For
container. That's all
shipping.
that thing
That's
is.
all it is, dude.
Like if you go straight on, you're pretty you're okay as long as you're not buried. I mean, even that it's like looking at bumpers and stuff because like my biggest thing is I've always wondered and I can't find any information about it. Like the Crosstrack has the rear bumper and the front bumpers that are made all the time, and you can find them
Oh
fairly
yeah.
decently priced.
Not an
But do
XT
those
SJ
but do those brackets are they the same width as the Forester?
until you buy one and park them next to each other with the fascia off. You're not gonna know.
Well, I think don't you have the year where people were taking the Jeep
Ford
bumpers and
Ranger.
putting on there, or the
Yeah,
Ford
Ford
Ranger? Yeah, the
Ranger.
Ford Ranger.
But everybody, as far as I know, everybody's had to do fabrication work
Mm-hmm.
to make them fit. But yeah, yeah, like I've
No, I mean I know how to weld and everything, but my thing is when I see them done and there's like like the way they line up and articulate like the bending, like I don't know that. Like,
yeah,
do I want
yeah.
to try it? Kinda, but I'm like, I did find a bumper at a junkyard near me, like $50 for the exact same blue and everything that I have.
No kidding.
And I'm like, oh, I can get that, cut that up, so I don't have to
Yeah.
destroy mine. But then I'm like, my backyard's going to turn into a junkyard with all my stock parts that are back there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. That's what my backyard's starting to look like. It's not good.
Yeah.
You got to tell me, did you ever weld professionally, or how
No,
much of that have you done?
no. I learned in school.
Okay.
What was really nice, which I noticed they don't have out here, is when I was in high school, we had vocational classes in my high school. So it was
Mm-hmm.
electric, welding, machine shop, all that stuff, automech, wood shop. We did all that. That's where I aced everything and failed normal school.
Yeah.
Um, but no. So like I just welded through school and stuff like that. Sometimes with friends on cars and whatnot. Like
Are you pretty good at stick welding?
stick welding is the only one I know how to do. That's what I
Really?
learned
Okay.
on. Yeah,
Yeah, it's so hard to
stick
weld
or
in
arc,
weird
whatever you want to
spaces.
call it. Yeah,
Yeah, arc welding, stick welding. I can't
yeah.
remember. There's other
Mig and
names.
Tig are the two that I don't know. I've never done those.
Yeah, TIG is. I just I'd never welded because dude, I didn't go to school, man. I
Right.
I was homeschooled and then went to college as a junior. Never did any kind of like shop class or anything. It's like a month ago, I was like, I'm gonna buy a welder. I'm gonna teach myself how to
Right.
weld. And dude, it's stick welding is hard, bro.
I see. I found it easy, but the thing with the stick welding is like if you're doing, I'm trying to think how to explain it. Like if you have your bumper off right, and you're doing like the
Mm-hmm.
bumper bracket to like a square tube,
Mm-hmm.
and you're doing the edging, like that's easy. Like that's kind of what it's there for. Now, if you're
Mm-hmm.
doing tubes that come down to a bar, like you're getting up in there and stuff like that, that's probably where like the MIG TIG whatever it is come into
Yeah.
play. If I were back in Illinois, like I'm never gonna move back there, but like a lot of my family, my son, and everything are out there. But all
Okay.
my old friends, but like, dude, I could go out there, get some pipe, and a buddy of mine could have one
Here.
done, for a case of beer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah,
the
dude.
old bartering. Nobody barters anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I'm hoping that I can, because I just bought like an Everlast multi-process welder,
Mm-hmm.
and it does stick, it does MIG, TIG, and then I bought it because I also wanted to do flux core. I don't want to
Okay.
have gas. I just want to just run some dirt, nasty,
Yep.
trashy flux core. And dude, it's like point and shoot, but there's still, you're still trying to like stuff the torch
It's
into these weird
the
angles.
Yeah, I mean, with when it comes to like all the welding and stuff, like stick was like what stick are you using? What are you welding? The
Yeah,
voltage stuff like that. And then
yeah,
when you get into I think it's MIG TIG whatever, it's like you have that same stuff because it's like what type of wire you're using. And then you have the
exactly.
voltage, but then you got the speed of which everything comes out. I'm like, wait, what
Exactly.
now? Like people using like foot pedals, like tattoo artists do. I'm like, what the hell's going
Yeah.
on here? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like if my buddy's got a welder and I just got to get some stuff together just to practice on. But I think, you give me a couple hours, I'll be fine. I'll make something that's going to stick together at least.
Yeah, right.
Is
It
it going
may
to be
not.
pretty? No.
Is it
But
gonna hold?
that's what they make a bunch of. That's what they make like rhino liner for. Cover it goes in holes and
Yeah,
cover stuff up.
that's what flapper discs and rattle cans are for, dude. Let me grind
Well,
that down.
you know, it kind of is like one of those things. Like when I first got my car, you know, like going off road and all that stuff. Like I used to wash it. You know, it was shiny and like nice looking. I'm like now I'm like I don't give a fudge anymore, man.
Yeah,
Like
just run
there's
it.
gouges, scrapes down it, you know, everything like that. I'm just like somebody's like you got to wash your car. I'm like why?
It's gonna be
Like
dirty in a week.
well, it's Arizona, dude. Like as soon as you're done washing it, there's a nice layer of dust all on the top
Yep.
of it. Like it's just pointless.
We get the same thing out here, man. Like
Like
dust
those
nonstop.
drive-through washes are just making a killing.
Oh,
And
next
with all the
level.
stuff that's on mine, I can't go through one. I mean, I can go through a touchless, and I do that every like maybe a couple times a year.
Yeah. Yeah, same,
I
dude.
mean,
I
I have
mean,
my own pressure washer, and the only time I use that is when the thing's caked in mud, and
yeah.
you know I destroy my driveway.
Yeah, I do a foam cannon, but I
Yep, have
really
that.
don't do anything else. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna get the mud off, hit it with the foam cannon and
Well,
call it
that's the thing
good.
is like I have the foam cannon, and I have the like the
Oh, the
underbody
sprayers?
one. Yeah, I have the sprayer that goes underneath and stuff. Which
Sick.
I mean, that's great. All of it. I mean, I've seen like Ryan go out, you know, where he's got his tires off. I'm like, I ain't about doing that. But then it's funny because I thought about it the last time we went out. Like I had so much like mud in my tires and stuff that you know, I hosed it off. It's whatever. And then I'm like driving it. I'm like, why is it? It's just like this weird like vibration, and it's like because there's all the dry
Yeah.
mud like inside the wheel, and I'm like, so I'm out there like with like a scraper and like a wire brush, just like brushing it out. I'm like, okay. I'm like maybe he's
Yeah.
onto something, but now I just like get down and like lean across and like spray out the wheel across, and then go to this wheel.
That's the extent of what I do.
I ain't taking wheels off. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
same. I'm just like,
I'm too
whatever's
lazy.
easy. Yeah, dude. Absolutely. Have you broke anything on the trails?
No, no. I've had I've had some noises where I thought I've broken stuff because
Okay.
I've come down. I hit what was it? It was on the passenger rear control arm. I felt that smack, and I was like, oh, that thing's dented. That thing's whatever. But no, it wasn't. Um, those are things I'm still contemplating. You know, because like John's got the aftermarket ones, and I know he's replaced his because like I think one of them broke. Like before they changed their design, I think it broke at like the bolt, where the bolt like threads into the arm, and they made it thicker now or
Is that the
something.
Rally Tech?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
I've seen that. I've seen that. Yeah.
You know, I thought about it, but then I'm like, I mean, the stock ones hold up pretty well unless you really smack something. They don't really bend unless
Hmm.
you like come down on a rock or hit them. But I'm like, I can get stock ones for like a
For
quarter of
nothing.
that price.
Yeah.
Throw them in the back, so if anything happens, I can just go wham and just there they are.
Yeah.
You know, because there's things like that that stick in my head. There's the control arms, not the front ones, but the back ones, and then also there's the CV axles. Like I did think about, you know, should I put like a Pelican case that has like, you know, I think the rears are the same. I'm
Yeah,
not.
I think
I think
so.
they're the same, so it'll be like one rear, and I think are the fronts the same, or are they different? I can't remember.
I'm not sure on the
The way
SJ.
it lines up, I'm not sure if, but you know, either or was getting like one for the back and then one, you know, one for each of the front just in case something, you know, drastic happens. But then I'm like, you know, the hard part about I think off-roading for me out here is like how like what John does. He goes out by himself. I'm like, dude, you're
Yeah, he's
crazy. Like, dude, you're
he
going
is
out
crazy.
places that don't have cell signal, no nothing. And I'm like, it's so hard because like when I go out, like I'm got to get out of that mental state. But I'm always like, you know, something goes wrong, like what's going to happen, you know, all this stuff. Like, and then you start getting in your head, like, do I even want to go out? You know what I mean? Like, which is hard. It's hard to get into. And well, with me was what crosses my head now is back in March when I had my heart attack. Like 2 days before, I was off roading with my wife. Like we went
Oof.
out in the middle of nowhere to this
Yeah.
lake, and I'm like, if it happened out there, holy shit, dude! Like, you know, so that's in my head now. Like, oh, I'm like, I don't want to go outside when something happens, but I'm also like, I can't be that. I can't think that way because then that'll just limit me through life. So I'm like, I can't think that way. So when it comes to my car, I go out with the group, with Matt and all of them, and I'm like, if something happens, they're there. They'll help me. I got stuff, if I got to tie up, if a bolt breaks on my rear end, like my lower control arm, I can, ratchet
Ratchet
strap that
strap.
thing up, stuff like that. And it's nice about the community. We haven't really touched on it, but everybody talks about the community, and it's a real thing. Like it's we went out one time, and it's how I met Ryan, and we've become really good friends. I met you, and you're in Washington, all the way out, far away,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
and we connected. So it's one of those things, like, and I connected with a dude, Tennessee, that was making parts. Like, I've connected with other people, and met up with other people too. It's like it's a cool thing, you know.
Yeah,
It
I
is one
love
of
it.
those things that I do. I haven't been to the Off Road Expo or Overland Expo. Sorry.
Yeah, up in
Uh,
Flagstaff.
yeah, yeah, I've wanted to, but it's just like, I like to off road. Like, I do have like the awnings. I have camping gear if I want to use it. I haven't used it, but I'm not, rooftop tenter. I'm not like an overlander, I would guess the word is.
Me neither,
Um,
honestly.
so if I went there, it'd be like, oh, just meeting people, but it's like it's not like, it's kind of like, I thought about Subi Fest in California, but it's like, I always talk myself out of it because I'm just like, that's a huge thing. Like, I'd rather go there, stay there, so I'm not driving and all that stuff. And then I see people like, oh, we've been sitting in line and just to get into the parking for 5 hours. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
I'm like, I'm old, man. I'm like, I don't, my mid 40s. I'm like, I don't want to
Same.
deal with that shit.
Same, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like when people mention like going off road, like, oh, like John and I'm like, oh, I got like Tuesday or like Thursday off. I'm like, not me, dude. Like, I'm not doing that. Like,
Yeah. I'm kind of in the same boat, man. If it's more than 2 hours, I got to be able to sleep. I got to be able to sleep there, you know?
I got friends like, friends that have concerts that they play, and they're like, I'm like, oh, when is it? They're like, oh, Thursday night at like 10. I'm like, nah,
I'm going to
I'm
be
in bed,
sleeping.
dude. It's horrible
uh,
too, thinking about like, teenage 20-year olds, I'm up like, I don't go to bed until 7 a.m.
yeah, yeah, dude, not anymore.
No, no,
Yeah,
not at
not here.
all.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about this, but I was hesitant to bring it up, but you mentioned it. The whole heart attack thing.
Yeah.
Can you lay that whole thing out as much as you're comfortable sharing?
Yeah, I'm 43, and yeah, I was just a normal day, like a Monday. I had it off. I was actually going to go to the dentist, and good thing I had it off. But I was a smoker, 30 years. Didn't really drink or anything like that, but family history of it with my dad's side, and then from the Midwest, so a lot of unhealthy food.
Yeah,
That's how I raised, really, but
I'm very aware.
steak and potatoes, but I woke up, getting ready to go, whatever, had a cigarette over there, and I kind of felt off. Nothing drastic, I guess you could say. And I started driving to my dentist, and I was just like about halfway there, which is only like, I don't know, 10 blocks away or some shit. And I felt a pain in my chest. It kind of did go up, and it went down to my wrist, and pool there. Like, they weren't kidding when you say you can feel it. Like, it's a feeling I've never felt
Yeah,
before. But I was just like, right away, I was like, this is bad. So
yeah,
I called my wife. Turned around, I called my wife, and I'm like, I need you to take me to the hospital. And she's like, what? And she's like, I pulled in the driveway, got out. I'm like, take me to the hospital. She's like, we call an ambulance. I'm like, you're quicker. Let's go. Like, which I understand the ambulance thing because they get you in there a little bit quicker too. But the amount of
hmm
time it took them to get here, I'm already there. So I went
yeah.
in and found out that I was 80% blocked on my right artery, and then 100% blocked on my widowmaker. My heart did
Fudge.
what they, I think it's called collateral. Is that what it's called? Something like that, where my widowmaker artery created a bunch of tiny little arteries all around it, so it created its own
Okay.
bypass.
Okay.
But the problem with it is those are a lot smaller, so uh, they put some, and then also my Widowmaker was also your LAD. That's the center one. Was also like heart diseased, obviously smoking,
Okay.
probably genetics. Um, so I had stents put in my right one. Helped a lot. Felt great after that. That's when I met with you. Um, when we went out to dinner and everything like that. That was after my stints because that was in the summertime.
Yeah, I
And
remember that was
but
not long
that was my
after.
last cigarette. Was that morning? Like that morning that I had
Yeah.
my heart attack. That was the last one. I haven't touched one since. Haven't wanted to.
Nice.
I'm doing good, eating better and everything like that. And then September 4th. So before that, they put the stints in because they couldn't do a bypass on my LAD because it was too small and diseased. So when they did the stints, they're like, you have a minuscule percentage of a chance that it'll do anything to make that bypassable. So they might have to do like what they call full metal jacket, which is like a whole bunch of stints in there.
Oh,
And he didn't want to do that, but what happened is the end of July, I went for another cath, and they looked at
okay.
it, and to have your cardiologist just go yes like that is a great thing, especially when the guy shows
Yeah.
no emotions whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's because what happened was it supplied enough blood to where my Widowmaker LAD was went from 100 to 80% blocked, so there was blood getting through, and it pumped it up enough for them to do the bypass.
Okay.
So September 4th is when I had my bypass, and luckily enough, I didn't have to have my sternum ripped open.
Yeah.
They did a Da Vinci, which goes to the side, and it's all done
Okay.
robotically.
Okay.
So I have a bypass there. So,
Dude,
and here we are.
that that is that's crazy.
And
Uh
I told my brothers, my two brothers, and my sister, like, because even women, I'm like, it's a genetic thing. If I got to be a martyr in this in my age, I'm like, dude, get checked, do something, change something,
yeah.
and
What
yeah.
cuz you've lost a butt ton of weight, dude.
But I mean, I
Like
gained a lot back during Thanksgiving and Christmas. But yeah, I so when it all happened, they put me, because they found out, diabetes and all these things too. So they put me on a really strict diet. I was like, I think I was at like 30 to 15 to 30 carbs a meal, which is like nothing.
yeah.
And
It's
yeah,
borderline keto.
yeah, yeah, it was a very high protein too. So, and then I was in cardio rehab and also the gym doing stuff. So, yeah, I dropped like 60 pounds
Yeah.
within like a few months.
That's sick. Through your own research or through stuff that the doctors were telling you, was there any like advice or anything where they told you, if you'd have done this when you were younger, it probably
Never
would have
smoked.
benefited you. Yeah, never smoked.
Yeah,
That'll do a
I mean,
lot for you.
that's pretty much the go-to. I mean,
Hmm.
which is funny because like I've been to like lung doctors and everything, and they're like, "Yeah, your
Hmm.
lungs are good." I'm like, can't even tell. I'm like, you're good. I'm like,
Really?
it's weird.
So the
Um,
lungs were fine, but the heart got smoked.
Yeah, it's because it constricts your blood vessels and everything. So, and it causes the heart disease. But yeah, it
Okay.
was the smoking. I mean, it's also, the hardest thing this day and age, I think, for everybody is just what you're eating. I mean, it's
Oh
so
yeah.
hard because as time goes on, the DoorDash, all this stuff, and the fast food is just so accessible. It's just insane.
Dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Like I had a buddy that that's all he ate was McDonald's, but he was at the gym, so he was ripped. But and he smoked like a chimney. But I mean, there could be like a Mr. Universe contestant, but can't go up a flight of stairs.
Yeah. Oh,
Get winded as
definitely.
hell, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's yoked, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, when I started lifting weights, I remember being like, "Yo, I'm glad I'm a little stronger now, but what the heck? Like, I gotta really get my cardio up because now I can't even hardly do anything
yeah,
without being winded. Because now I'm not just carrying around fat, I'm carrying around extra muscle that requires oxygen. Like, this
yeah,
sucks." Oh man. No, that's crazy. Because I didn't even know that that had happened to you until you, me, and Ryan met up for dinner.
yeah,
And I remember when I first saw you in the parking lot, I was like, "Dang, dude, Eric looks like he
yeah.
friggin' is prepping for a show or something. This dude's like lost a buttload of weight. This is crazy. But man, I hate cutting. It's literally the worst. Like no carbs.
It's so hard because
Oh
I'm a breadaholic, dude. I
yeah,
love bread.
I love carbs. Do you, do you get fatigued like crazy when your calories and your carbs are down?
So that was the interesting thing. I didn't notice before. I think before the heart attack and everything, or maybe it's like because they say like the way it was blocked and the arteries growing around it is not an overnight process. It's years. And
Yeah, that
I did
makes sense.
notice like for a few years, like I would nap. I nap a lot, and it's like I never used to. Um, but no, when I cut everything out, like all the carbs, and was eating pretty much like fish and chicken or whatever have you. Um, no, I had a lot more energy. When I eat carbs, which I freaking love carbs, that's when it's just like, dude,
Me too.
I'm spat. And kind of started off as a car podcast and started going into the whole
I
health
think it's
thing.
fun, man. Just talking about life, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's like when I listened to you and Raph, it was great.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just
dude. Yeah.
talking about everything like that. It's just it's a good time.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying
Because
to
we see
think.
everything that has to do with the cars online, but you never really know much about the people, you
Well,
know?
it's one of those things too that it's interesting because like when you look online, everything that goes on with the cars is like a snowflake. It's so vastly different from
Yeah.
person to person, and then the people that you when you look at Instagram, most of the time you're looking at a car because a lot of people post cars or
Yeah.
they have their personal account somewhere else. So you're looking at the personality of the person through the car, and then when you
Mm-hmm.
meet the person, the personality is there, but it's also different. So it's like
Yeah.
it's such a cool community. It is one of those things that like there are other Subaru communities that I've looked at that just not for me. That's like
Yeah.
usually the WRX community is
Usually the tuners. A
yeah, they're
little different.
it it reminds me of high school.
The high school
Yeah,
Honda
yeah, yeah,
scene.
yeah.
Yeah, dude,
Dude,
back in the early
I
2000s.
was there. I was there. I had the fart can and everything like
Yeah,
that.
bro. B18s.
Another community like I did back then had a slammed S10. That was a cool community there. That was
Oh, the
one.
mini truck thing.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tight. Let me think about this. I've got a question for you as it relates to Subarus. We kind of
Mm-hmm.
talked about how they sort of struggle on long, steep inclines. Are there other types of limitations that you've found with the car that people would maybe want to be aware of before they start modding one of these cars or before they start planning trips for a Subaru that they've just bought?
I've never. I mean, not to say I won't, but I've never gotten mine stuck. That's not to say that I never will. There's some rock area stuff like that. I've noticed. What's nice about going out is you have different types of drivers in all different vehicles. I've noticed like the older ones with the actual is it the four LET
The
trans
4EAT?
yeah, the
Yeah.
transmission.
Yeah,
Like dude,
dude.
they just rock it. Like I've seen
Oh,
people with
yeah.
that. I've seen people with the manual and they just rock it too. But I've also seen them where they struggle because if they don't have the torque locker, you can see that. I see it in mine. The CVT when you're off roading, I would tell people like when you add skid plates, you add tires, you add the stuff like I have on there. Um, if you have a tranny cooler, your normal day to day, you don't really see the temperature that high. I mean, I've seen people online talking about how there's this like high, really high, and I'm like, you're doing something wrong. Like something's not going
Yeah.
on right because me even driving the way I drive, I've seen people say there's just like the 220s, and I'm like, that's the danger zone, man. Like, I mean, mine's gotten to like, I think it was like 215, and that was coming from Colorado with four people in the car, AC on, going uphill through the mountains. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
even
yeah.
then, I'm like watching it going, that goes 3 more degrees. I'm like, I'm off.
We
Like,
got to pull
nah,
off.
because that's when it starts. I mean, I heard it's actually like 230s or something, but I'm err on the side of caution, right? But if you take that scenario and go off road with it, like I have and everything in the desert here, especially, even probably by you, like you're going to put more strain, so it's going to get hotter. Everything's going to get hotter quicker. And then also, I think what's his name? The guy that had the Forester that switched to the Honda Pilot, the one that
Man,
goes. He goes out with Milton and them. But I remember when he had his Forester, like he was out in the snow and he roached the transmission.
okay.
Excuse me. Thinking like, oh, it's the snow is there, it's not going to get hot enough before he has like a ScanGauge, and nope,
No, dude. It's the
roasted.
opposite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I saw that was one of the first things I got too is the ScanGauge to monitor temps, and then I had an extra one that I actually gave to Ryan. Because I said, even with his being different than mine, I'm like, dude, keep an eye on that stuff, man. So
Yeah.
he's got it in there.
Okay. And that's a ScanGauge.
Yeah, ScanGauge too. I mean,
Yeah.
there's cheaper ones out there, Amazon ones and whatnot that run off the ODB2 like mine does, but ScanGauge has got that history and that credibility.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I have it.
Like you said, they've been around forever.
Yep.
People know they work.
I know there's the newer version, but I'm like, I like my little straight to the point, like four numbers. I got my temperature, my water temp, because
Mm-hmm.
for some reason my car doesn't have that.
Dude, I was just
It's the
talking about
weirdest
this.
thing ever.
They just have the "you're effed" light.
Yeah. So it has
Like,
the year after light. It gives me my oil temp.
does it really?
Yeah, in my the top infotainment thing, like where my
Yeah.
turbo is, it'll give you my oil temperature. So I have that up. I have that up with the boost and everything, so it tells me that.
Okay.
But my ScanGauge is the water temp, air temperature, the air intake, my battery voltage, and my CVT.
Okay. Okay. With all the lights that you have, are you running a stock battery? You running an AGM?
I'm running a. All right, give me a second. I got to pull up my email here. I can't remember what it is.
I can't. Is it an Optima that you're running?
No. I was going to, but like my dad had been running an Optum for a while. I know they sold
Yeah.
years
Johnson
back, and they
Controls
just went.
bought them out.
Yeah, their quality
Yeah.
went way down.
Yeah. Yeah. That's been my experience
And
when I
I
was.
read it on like forums. A lot of people were like, yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
crap now. So I
They
was
were
like, okay.
they were good 20 years ago. Probably the best battery you could buy 20 years ago. And yeah, like you said, they got bought out. And when I worked in the commercial auto parts industry for a little bit, and I remember we would get tons of those back, like warrantied out. I
Mm.
was like, what the heck? This is an Optima and it's only 3 weeks old. Does your Subaru's engine bay look like crap? Mine definitely does, or did. I recently, in the last couple of years, purchased a full set of engine bay caps for my daily driver, and then I purchased some other ones for my Forester from Melee Design Firm. They have full sets, or you can buy just the oil cap if you want to just dress that up. But they're billet aluminum, they're small batch, so again, not every broccoli head with a WRX is going to have these, and they look pretty sick. I'm using the wrinkle red powder coat, but they have them in all sorts of other colors that you can choose from. And if you use code DIRTSUBIES at checkout, you'll get 10% off pretty much anything in the store. And that would really help us out to continue making these episodes for you, and it would help out a small business. Melee Design Firm is the epitome of a small business. Mitch over there is absolutely grinding and crushing it, and I can't say thank you enough for his willingness to sponsor what we're doing over here. So go check that out. And let's get back into this freaking heater of an episode.
What happened for me was I went out one day and the car wouldn't start. And then I was like, okay, what the hell? So I put a charger on, started.
Okay.
Went to work and everything fine. Next morning, go to start again. I'm like, oh crap. I'm like, the battery's toast, And
Yeah.
I needed to go to like work, so I'm like, I need a battery now. And Advanced Auto Parts, that's who it was.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, who was just over here, and I think they're gone. I don't know if they all closed.
They closed out here too, man. I got
because I think they're
10
like
grand worth of
online
stuff.
only, maybe. Yeah, I didn't,
Yeah.
dude. I didn't get to go there when they were doing their freaking blowout like closing sale.
Dude, I got in real good. I went up to the counter once I finally got in through the line. I handed the lady like $40. I said, "Hey, I appreciate you being here today. Me and my buddy are going to take care of you. We won't be a pain in the butt. We appreciate you." And dude, she got us so hooked up. I was like, "Yeah, bro." I think I got like 10 grand worth of stuff for like $800.
Nice. August of 2022, I got this battery, and it's the Die
That's
Hard
impressive.
Platinum AGM battery. It's
Okay. Yeah, dude.
650 cold cranking amps, 810 CA, and 11-minute reserve capacity.
Okay.
And dude, this thing is still like new. I mean, the lights on it, like, I don't use them very often. I mean, it's one of
Mm-hmm.
those things that I look at, like, I think like 80% of the people out there, I mean, 80% of it is aesthetics. I mean,
Oh yeah,
um,
dude. Yeah.
but now, have I used them? Have they come in clutch? Yeah. I mean, I used them when we went out the one time, and it actually helped
Yeah.
Ryan see when I'm behind him. You know what I mean? Going like over
Yeah,
the top
dude.
of him and everything.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, like my lights or like Nightlight and stuff. They're like the cheaper Amazon stuff, because
And they
I'm
work.
not about to do diodynamics or about how designs. I mean, more power to them. Don't get me
It's
wrong,
just
but if I
it's
break mine, dude, it's nothing for me to replace it. And
yeah.
the light output is plenty.
Yeah, and
You know,
it's either I buy a cheap one or I don't buy any because I can't stomach spending $500 on fog lights. I can't
yeah,
do it, you know.
yeah,
And I know they're worth every penny for what they
yeah.
are and what they charge, but it's
I found this one guy on YouTube that was really cool. Like, he has I think it was a Tacoma or something, but his front bar is like an SSD bar. Would take like Baja Designs, Diode Dynamics, the new Harbor Freight ones, the night
oh yeah.
lights,
Yeah.
and you get the same group, like size and everything. And he'd put them up, and he would test them all, like long range, short range, side shooters, everything. A lot of the times, like, I mean, even the Harbor Freight ones are. I mean, Harbor Freight's kind of like, to me, like McDonald's now. Like, you're pricing yourself like good quality, and you're kind of
Yeah, yeah.
$130 a light. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
But like, I was watching his videos, and like they tested really well compared to the other, two bigger ones. But you know,
Yeah.
it's one of those things that I also look at, like, a lot of people are sponsored. I don't know what kind of deals they get, like when they're ordering them. Um, I'm not sponsored by anybody. All of mine's my own money. What's funny is I did try, a year after I got mine. I tried to be a Subaru ambassador because I was all about
Okay.
Subaru, man. Like, going
Yeah.
to all these events, doing everything, and they said, nah. I had like
What?
2,600 followers, all this stuff, like more than, like, some of them only have like 200. And I'm like, okay.
That's
So,
funny.
I kind of just was like, it is what it is. Let these other people have the shot and do their thing.
Yeah, let them do all the dirty work.
And I see, like, I think it's funny every time, like, Black Friday comes around or Thanksgiving, and it's all these people are like, oh, 10% off. I'm like, dude, 10% off, like, $1,000. I'm like, come on now.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, ah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
And
so
I didn't want my, it also didn't want my feed. My Instagram is me. It's me and my friends. It's like, all that stuff. Um, it was, a photography page at one point, and then it
mhm.
switched after I got my car. It kind of took over. Um, but I also didn't want, I never reached out. I reached out early on with brands. There was like Whip Lighting. There was some LED place and some other things, but when you look at like what they want you to do, I was just like, dude, I'm not turning my
Yeah.
page into, a catalog. Like,
Yeah, bro. I hate that.
I don't want to be forced to post, because, like, if you look
Yeah.
at, like, there's some people that, like, I used to post like every day. Now it's like, once a week, maybe once a month, like, because with how everything else, like, I'm not out there every day. I'm not doing anything that,
We have
I
jobs.
and it's also hard. I think the biggest thing for me too is, like, I'm a photographer at heart. Like, I love photography and everything like that. But when I'm out on the trail, like when we're off roading, I'm like, I want somebody else to take photos because I'm enjoying
Yeah.
the drive, man. Like,
Yes.
and I did go out before Mountain Room, before going out with them the first time. I went out with a different group, and I'm not gonna say who it was or anything, but I bad time, dude, bad time. Like, it wasn't led very well. And then there was a lot of people, but it was like every like, maybe not even like half a mile, not a quarter mile. It's like, take pictures. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
What was supposed to be like maybe a 4 hour outing was 12.
Oh.
Dude, it was a long time. There was a part time where, like, the group got split up. The leader's trying to go down these trails he's never been down. Like, it was just not a good time. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's funny because, like, ever since then, and that was back in like 2022, whatever it was, and I'm like, haven't been out with them since. I don't even know if they still go out, because I haven't seen anything about it. So, but you learn. And
Mm-hmm.
when we go out with like the mountain, or when like Matt's out there, and John and everything, it's led and mapped out. They go and map everything out. They go and take rides, because they'll go out, see what it's like, do the trail themselves, and then
Mm-hmm.
if it happens to rain or anything in between, they go back out. So it's
Yeah,
awesome. It's awesome.
that's sick.
Yeah,
Yeah, the so with what I'm doing now, like the whole sponsorship thing,
yeah,
I had no intention of like asking anybody to sponsor that. Like that just
yeah.
sounds
But
dumb.
you're
Like,
doing it
oh,
with people that you know. Like, I mean,
well that
you're
was
helping friends, right?
well they're helping me actually, but
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's scratch my
yeah,
back, you scratch your
mutual.
back. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for me, I, so Mitch was the first Melee, the guy that
Yeah,
owns
yeah, yeah.
Melee Design Firm. He was the first person to
I was
reach
looking
out.
at their strut tower brace.
Yeah. Oh,
The
dude,
red one. I've been
that's
eyeballing
the
that
one
for
I have.
years.
Yeah, bro, that's the one I have. It's sick. And if you flip
Because
the little
don't
nameplate,
run any sway bars. All
yeah.
mine are removed. And what was nice is I think the XT suspension from stock is stiffer than the base
Mm-hmm.
model, so I didn't have any body roll. And then with the new
Mm-hmm.
suspension, I still don't. But I
Yeah.
wanted a little bit more stiffness, so that's why I was looking at that bar. But I'm just like, I haven't pulled the trigger
Yeah.
yet.
Well, and the other thing too, like my biggest opinion on it is, when you're off road and everything's kind of, you're three wheeling it or whatever, it sort of
Mhm.
just um reinforces the unibody on both sides.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, with that stuff, I told Mitch at first, I was like, no, 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 I don't want to do a sponsor or anything like that. But my criteria now is like, if I haven't already spent money on your products, because like, dude,
yeah,
I've
yeah.
spent thousands of dollars on Melee products, thousands of dollars on ADF products. Like,
Right.
if it was just some random thing, I'm not doing that. Like,
Dude,
I'm not gonna
if I
tell.
lived where
Yeah,
you live and like was that close to both of them, hell, dude, like I'd be living there.
dude, you have no idea how dangerous it is, man. The amount of money, because now, like, me and Patrick have become friends
Mhm.
in recent years, and me and Mitch, we first met back in 2020, and now it's like I have to like fight to give Patrick money if I want parts. But at this point it's like I've spent so much money on their stuff to where it's like there's not really anything they have left in their catalog that I don't already own.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, dude,
You
pushing.
don't own an SJ bumper.
I don't. I don't yet, but that's coming soon, and I'm gonna try to get my hands on one.
Is
that's
it Ford
that's
XT?
yeah. I'm thinking about. I think he's gonna do an SG version when they, because they're, I
That's the
can't
one
it,
before the H. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, G. Yeah, yeah,
so yeah, SG is like '03 to '08
yeah.
before they turned it into like an SUV and it was still a wagon.
Yeah,
Um,
my stepson, my oldest stepson, he needed a car, and I found him an SG, dude. I found him a 2002 with like no
Sick.
like it was the green and tan.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, it's so clean, and it's like one of those things. Like I'm like, dude, if you ever sell this thing, I want it. Like
Yeah.
I got it for like nothing, and then now there's that guy that's like a couple blocks from me, and I've been seeing it sit out there, and it's the old SG uh, XT. It's
Mm,
all white, and it's
yeah,
got like the
dude.
hood, and I'm like, it hasn't moved ever, and I'm like, dude, that thing's probably got a blown head gasket. But I'm like, I kind of just want to go. I'm like, you want to get rid of it? Like it's just
Yeah.
it's been sitting there for like 10 years. It's been sitting there for 10 years, just sitting
It's
there.
probably it's probably got a blown turbo. That's probably what it is.
Yeah, I'm like, hell, that's a great platform. I could do a lot of stuff
Yeah.
with that. And I'm like, it's probably manual.
Yeah. Well, that's when they were doing those banjo bolt filters for the turbo oil
Hmm.
supply line.
Yeah,
And yeah, that design killed a bunch of TD04s and
I remember
all
reading
those
about that, like reading
XTs.
about a lot of stuff, like what can go wrong, and then
Hmm.
kind of learning, like, oh, that's not me. That's not
Yeah. Yeah, they
my
fixed that.
motor. You know what I mean? Yeah, you
Yeah,
fix
dude.
that, but then there's this problem. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's a trade-off. You lose one
I mean, because a
problem
lot
and
of
get
people
another.
talk about it. I don't think it matters what your Subaru. They always talk about the oil consumption thing, and it's like
Hmm.
I don't have that. On a side note, one of the coolest things was when I got my car, I actually got it from a Toyota dealership. Now
Okay.
the salesman was actually a WRX owner. So he was telling me, he was talking about uh, RA Works out here. There's a
Okay.
garage RA Works, and he's like, oh, if you need anything, go there. But he also told me, he's like, he goes, you got the turbo. He's like, run, motor oil in there. And I was like, really? I'm like, I never heard it at that time. And I was like, okay, so I'll run that oil. That's what I've been running ever since. And
What is it?
the Moto, or
Oh yeah. Oh dude, yeah. Yeah, their stuff is sick.
that's all I run in my car. And then when I redid my when I bled and refilled my front rear diffs, that's what I put in it. I mean, it was just nice getting that little piece of information that he didn't have to give me.
Oh yeah, dude.
No, but he was chill. I mean,
Subaru
when I took it for
community,
a test
bro.
drive, you know, and it was funny because when I took it for a test drive, I didn't even put it into like sport or anything. I didn't even know that was on the steering wheel. I was in like But I mean,
Yeah.
even if you're an intelligent, you smack that gas, it'll move. And I remember I went through like a stop sign and a red light, not even noticing. I was just grinning ear to ear, man. I was just like, hell, having a good time.
Yeah, heck yeah, dude. Yeah, Forester XTs are sick, man. And they just, like I said, you don't get tickets because they look like a grocery getter, bro. Tons of room,
Oh, especially when you
but
take like
quick.
when I took everything off mine, I was like, oh, it was so hard to look at. It was so naked.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Okay, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Any future stuff you want to do to the car? I mean, I know it's
Oh,
pretty much to that point, but I know you mentioned torque locker.
I mean, that's
Anything
hard.
else?
Is the question if I had money was no object? I mean,
Blank
because then
check. Yeah,
blank
blank check,
check it,
right?
I would have the baddest SJ Force you could ever have. But no,
Yeah.
I mean, I know you brought up earlier about the front mounted intercooler. I thought about that, but out here with like a lot of like the rock ledges and off roading and stuff, I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna mess with the stock. I mean, the stock, I'll do the piping because it's a smoother airflow or anything like that, but not changing like the air filter, obviously the air box, because then you're changing airflow. Then you got to get a tune. I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to do any kind of tuning because then you got to find
Yeah.
somebody and then you got to
Yeah.
pay. I'm like, no, I'm not doing the
Yeah,
Cobb
dude.
thing and all that crap. Yeah, the torque locker is one of them. I do want to get like the front and rear bumpers. I do want to do
Okay.
the bar style, like kind of like the desert
Well,
runner style pre runner.
yeah, yeah. Like what Matt's
Um,
got.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Matt Slowfoz, dude, like his is
Mm-hmm.
so sick. And what you don't know is his front bumper, the metal plate inside that's in there.
Yeah.
There's a 2 inch. There's a cutout where he goes behind it. So on the back of that, so it sits flush. You can see kind of like the lines of it, but it goes through, and there's actually a receiver hitch behind it where he can pull it
Sick.
out and put in like a winch plate.
Yeah. That's
And I'm like,
sick.
dude, when he showed me that, I was like, I never would have thought of that. Never would have
Yeah.
thought of that. Because then you can have the winch on your hitch, and then you can go to front and back with it. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I
dude.
never would have thought of
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just have your wiring ready to go, just lock it
Yeah,
in and you're good.
yeah, yeah. So it's like but just to get the bumpers, and I think the main one was, for the rear, I'd like to do. I saw somebody do one where it bolts to the frame, where the bumper
Okay.
bolts to, but then also goes under to where the hitch would go into the holes like underneath.
Okay.
So it's got the front and the underneath structure. So when you're pulling it, because some people have said like where my hitch goes underneath and it goes through like the holes that
Yeah.
with that undercladding, like it can pull through, like if there's too much tongue weight, or it can, if you're pulling on it to like get pulled out, like it could actually like oblong the holes or whatever. So it
Mm-hmm.
gives it just that more structure. And
Yeah,
I have
more.
images saved from like all these different companies that used to do it. They used to make badass bumpers, and then they don't do it anymore. What's the one in California? Was it F23 or F? What, they're a weird name one.
F44.
Yes, thank you. Because
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
did it and then they stopped. I mean, I think they
Yeah.
do, but I'm not going to drive to California to get a bumper.
Well, bumpers are hard, bro, because the shippers, the couriers always damage the piss out of them.
Yeah.
And then the customer gets mad at the company when in reality it's UPS's fault that they
No, I mean
treated
I
it like a
worked.
football.
I've worked at like a pack and mail place. I know exactly how that happens, and it's like I'm not mad
Yeah.
at the driver because it's not him; it's the guy that loaded it. Like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
and it could have been done before they even picked it up because like they just pick it up. But if it's like a bumper like that,
Who
if it's dented,
cares?
I don't care. Like,
Yeah, I'm going to do the same thing.
yeah,
But people are unrealistic, and so I can
oh
see
yeah,
why a lot of companies are like, "Man, we're not even going to mess with this,"
yeah.
Like getting phone calls every day. I spent $2,000 and the powder coat showed up scratched. It's like,
I was
well,
telling my buddy, like, he does scaffolding and stuff, and he knows how like doing all the welding and whatever, and
okay.
measurements and all that stuff. I'm like, dude, I'm like, use my car as a template, like make a bumper. Like, I'm like, you do this for like on the side, like I'm like, you make a killing, dude. Like making like off road bumpers and
Yeah.
stuff, and he's just like, but it's the same thing. It's getting, he's like the hard part is basically when you're paying for it. He goes, you're not just paying for the labor. He goes, it's the material cost. And he goes, now if I buy the
Oh,
material and then they pull out, he goes, I'm screwed.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
that's where I kind of started getting like, okay, now I understand.
Or you got to
Come out
just
with a
keep a
bumper that's
bunch.
all like crooked.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably the level of my fabrication skills at this point. Probably come out looking like a Picasso
I mean, I
piece,
know the design I want. I just, it's just doing it, I guess. Because
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people on YouTube doing like the Tacomas and different things like that, and they, garage welding, and they come out pretty good for what they are. So I just, my whole thing is like I want something that looks good, something that's functional. It's hard too because I always say like the SSD light bar I have in there was a gift. It was my first Christmas gift from my wife. Was that. So I'm
Sick.
like, I also don't want to just, if I do a bumper like that, I'm like, it's gone. Like there's no purpose
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
And if anybody that has one of those things are thinking about getting one, it goes in, it's nice, it holds a light. Like, don't lean on it. It's not a pull point.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah,
lean on
dude.
it and you will bend it right down. Like it's, but then again, I mean, it's so much better than like I've seen people with the license plate one. I'm like, oh, that
Yeah.
is just horrible.
Yeah, those are sketchy.
Reminds me
Yeah.
when I used to work. I don't know if you ever old enough to remember J.C. Whitney.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I
Yeah,
used to work
definitely.
there. I worked there.
Sick.
Yeah, back in Utica, Illinois. Yeah,
Tight.
they're only place. Only I don't even know if they're still in business. I
I'm
don't
not
think
sure.
so. I don't
I
think
think they
so.
are. I think they've probably changed their business model a little bit,
But yeah,
but I'm not
that
sure.
was way back. That was like 99, something like that.
Holy crap. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But that
OG.
just reminds me of that kind of stuff. Just like the almost kind of like the AutoZone like thing. I've seen like some of like
Yeah.
the
The
stock ones where I'm
vents.
like, and it's hard too because I'm like always one of those people like I see other Subarus. I'm like I do the Wave M or whatever. WRX is like nah, they're not about it. Every once
Yeah,
in a while
yeah.
I get one, but like most of the time I go to Wave M, I'm like oh it's like some like old grandma like she's not looking at me.
Yeah, dude. She saw the crash ratings.
But
Was
I
like, "Oh,
do
it's
I
a
do like when I'm at a light and like across from me or whatever, I'll see like that husband and wife over there, and the husband like pointing at my car, and I'm like, he's saying that he wants his to look like this, and she's saying
Yeah,
no.
dude. Yeah."
Yeah,
I love that. That's my
I get
jam.
compliments. It's always nice.
Yeah, my cars are too clapped out. People point at it and they're like, "That's what I don't want it to look like."
Nah, see that's the difference. They'd be like, that guy knows that guy fucks. That's what's going on
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I can only hope. No.
He knows what a tree feels like.
Actually, yes.
Yeah,
Very much.
my old S10, I know what a tree feels like. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know what.
bro.
I don't know if you have them, but like and all that stuff. We had when you go to the fields, like you have the ditches and then you have the culverts that like where the
Oh,
tractors
yeah.
cross.
Yeah.
I hit black ice and I hit one of those at 20. I know what that feels like. Especially
That'll do it.
in an 89 S10, dude, when you get the steering wheel ring around your chest because you hit it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, no airbags. Just
No.
boom.
That thing had manual everything, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, crank windows, that's how my Jeep is. I
Yeah.
specifically was like, I want crank windows. Don't want anything
I
more
beat the
automatic than it
crap
needs to
out of it,
be.
dude.
Yeah, man.
I had that thing for like 3 years. I ended up melting a cylinder or a piston to the cylinder wall. Yeah.
Did the rings did like was the
I don't know, dude. All I
bro?
know is like I remember like I was driving back to like my aunt and uncle's house, like on up in Chicago, and I was off the interstate, and it just like driving, bumping, because I had this big 15 behind my
Oh,
seat.
Yeah,
And
that's a
I couldn't hear
requirement.
anything. I'm just like driving, all of a sudden it goes, and it starts like chugging. Like, what the hell is happening? I thought I ran out of gas, and then like I pulled over and like wouldn't crank, wouldn't do nothing, and then towed it off the interstate. Otherwise, the city would have taken it. Got it back to the house, and my uncle looked at it and he goes, "Yeah, you melted your cylinder to the wall." He's like, "Call the junkyard, have them take it." And I got $50, for them to come pick it up.
Yikes, dude.
Yeah,
Catastrophic engine failure,
I mean, it
bro.
kind of sucks now, because I was like 18 years old, and then now, having known, I'm like, oh man, I wish I would have kept that thing just for the
Yeah.
shell, because I mean, you could, easily put a V8 in it, no problem, like, no
Right?
computers, just all
Yeah.
manual, everything. Hell, I
Yeah,
could have ran
dude.
it off a freaking Harbor Freight Predator engine in there.
Yeah. Just throw the friggin' the generator in the
Right? Yep. I said we've been on a random tangent.
That's my favorite, bro.
I
Man,
don't know how the
uh
hell you're going to edit this up. You know what I mean?
I'm not. I'm just gonna edit out any dead air, and that'll be that, dude.
Yeah.
Well, man, thanks for doing this. This is
Yeah,
a long
anytime,
time in the
man.
making.
I think when you were out here or something, you mentioned something. You have something coming
Hmm.
down the pipeline. And then,
Yeah,
this showed up. And I was like, oh, shit, this is what he's doing. And then I've been listening to the Subi and You with Raph for, shout out to them for him
yeah, dude.
for a while. Dude, all I listen to in my car now, I used to listen to music. Now it's podcasts. Like,
Yeah,
to and
same.
from work,
Same.
it's like like I'll listen to like was it Creepcast, Time Suck, Scared
Oh,
to Death,
sick.
like it's like all the the creepypasta stuff or whatever
Yeah,
have you,
dude.
or true crime. Listen to
Yeah,
that, and then it's like, but then I have my the Subi New one that comes out, but then I was like, how are you going to be different? Because that's all you want to
yeah,
look at is like, oh, there's all these true crimes, like how are they different? And you
yeah,
come
yeah.
out and it's your personalities and the way you do things are so different, but yet you're doing the same community, so it's great. I mean,
Oh, thanks.
and not to mention, he's getting whoever he gets, and then you got the lower totem pole like me, so
Yeah, that was kind of so when I remember talking about that when I was out there with you guys. That was kind of the month where I was like, I'm just gonna do it, because I
yeah,
was
yeah.
super hesitant because I didn't want Raph to feel like, oh my gosh, this dude's trying to come in and, like snipe my
I could
viewers or
yeah, I
whatever,
could see that.
But he wasn't like that at all.
No,
But I
no.
just out of respect, I didn't want anybody to think that
Well, I
was the
remember
case.
hearing you talking about it, and kind of his take with no, and but how you felt, because I mean, if you think about it, he's the only one doing it, so I could
Yeah,
understand exactly where that thought would come from.
yeah,
It's kind of like, well, if I was to start doing it now, it's like, oh, now you got three. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to, and I'm not that person. But the
yeah.
thing is yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to do one, basically, kind of like, how did this get made? Like, I love
Oh
that
yeah,
podcast where just
yeah,
watching
dude.
shit movies and just ripping them apart. Like, I was trying to get like, at one point I had like five of my buddies, and we all watched the movie and took notes and stuff. But it's so hard to get people together to keep doing that. So it's just like it didn't go anywhere.
Dude, it does take a lot, and then like editing everything, making
Oh
sure the
yeah.
sound comes through. It's like, oh, dude, like I still haven't even finished the episode that's coming out in a few hours.
Well, that's like, it's one of those things that I always look at, like a lot of the YouTube content I watch. Thinking to myself like, oh, back in the day, I'm like, oh man, when YouTube was like not even a thing, or when it was first like just hinted at, I'm like, oh man, me and my friends would have made a killing doing what these kids are doing. Or, well, now they're older, but when they first started, they were kids. Now they're older,
Yeah,
and
bro.
millions of followers. I'm like, we could have done that, but then I'm like,
Yeah,
thinking about it, it's like it's not only them as the entertainer of it, the personality, but the editor. I'm like, my God, man! Like,
yeah, dude.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's nice. It's nice seeing editors, coming up and getting what they deserve, because like I've seen a lot of them where they treat them really good, because yeah, they do a lot of work, especially if you're doing it. If you're doing it all yourself, I mean, that's great. But I mean, it also gets to the point, if you get big enough, it's like, how, when do you start?
yeah,
You got to hire somebody, because
dude.
becomes a lot. You're filming, filming, interviewing, and then you're editing. So that takes a bunch of time until you get to the
Hmm.
point where you're hopefully you get to the point where you're interviewing somebody every day,
Yeah,
so you have that backlog. But then that becomes, oh, now I got to get somebody to edit, because I can't edit while I'm talking. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, and it's kind of just like a passion project thing because, like, I work 8 hours a day minimum, And
Yep.
then I have other side businesses that I do. It's not uncommon for me to be working in some capacity
Yeah,
for
yeah.
12 to 14 hours. It's like eventually I'm like, oh man, I can't even look at my phone. I get
I did.
anxiety.
I hope it takes off, and like everybody, like for myself and everybody, I hope win the lottery so you don't have to fucking work. You know what I mean? Enjoy
Now,
it and do what you want to do.
that would be sick. Then I can work because I want to, not because I
Well,
need
it's one of
to.
those things I was telling my wife the other day we were driving, and I said like, I don't know, maybe this year, maybe next year, whatever. I'm like, I talked to Ryan about it, but I'm like, I want to drive up there. I want to instead of flying up there, I want to drive
Oh,
up for you.
yeah.
Go up there.
That'd be
But it's like
sick.
figuring out time of year, because I do want to play in the snow, but I also don't want to get stranded.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things. I'm like, what sucks is I can take like a week and a half off, but I'm like, the problem with that is like 1 to 2 days is just driving, depending
Oh,
on how
dude.
you do it.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm like, that's when I'm like, I wish just a small lottery so I can quit and not have to worry about going back to work. Just go have fun again.
Yeah.
I equate it to the school summer break mentality. Like just give me like 2 months off. Let me just go do what I want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro.
Like
What I don't I wish I'd gotten into software developing, or like, programming as a kid, because that's where the money's at right now. You create an
app
app or
development.
a
Yeah.
piece of software
I
and you
wish I wouldn't have
exit.
sold my Bitcoin when it was new.
Right, bro? What the
But
fudge?
it's one of those things. We all have those. We all have those
Yeah,
stories.
like, oh, I should have done this or I shouldn't have done that. It's like,
Because a lot of
unless,
people are like like your parents or whatever. A lot of them have the I sold this car store. Like
yeah,
a '60s
yeah.
Charger or something. I had one I missed out on. I could have got a '71 Mach 1 for
Oof.
with a 428 drag pack for like 2 grand. That needed to be all like redone, and I'm like, I wanted to do it. Like it would have been great.
Yeah,
And my dad's like, you kill yourself. And I'm like,
yeah.
okay. And then it never happened because, yeah, I was at that age where, you know, dad had the money, not me. So,
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
and he
yeah.
said no, and I'm like, ah. And
But
now
even
I
as a
look back, like
shell,
even the shell now would have
yeah,
been
yeah.
astronomical. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff like that where I wish I would have like taken out a loan and bought every Evo that I could
Oh
find, 10 years ago, thrown them in
yeah,
a storage unit, turn around and sold like 5,000 mile Evos for 50 grand or whatever they're going
yeah,
for now. But, you know,
yeah. I
hindsight's
mean,
2020.
right?
Unless you're Marty McFly, it's hard to
Can
figure
you
out what
imagine
you
if you
do.
went out and just bought a bunch of like different WRXs and just left them stock sitting there?
Right?
Oh,
Yeah. Bug
original
eyes,
owner, like no miles. You would, oh, dude, you'd be cleaning the
bro.
house. You'd be winning the lottery. Is what you'd be doing.
Yeah, never had the title punched. Like, could you
Yeah,
imagine that? Yeah,
I
but then
mean,
you'd still have people lowballing you. I'll give you a chicken nugget and 4 grand.
right?
It's I just can't with that stuff, dude.
Yeah, I just
What the
no.
fudge? All right, man. Well, let's freaking jump off, dude.